Mother, man.
I smell fresh fish. Hold on to my pocket, bitch. Murder Metal Mayhem.
Spreading faster than a case of the clap in a trailer court. Able to shatter eardrums within a 666-mile radius. A podcast more brutal than all the rest. It's Murder Metal Mayhem!
All right, that was quite the promo there from somebody.
Somebody been locked up.
Somebody been locked up too
and
long.
And they see that fresh fish.
It's Tuesday, and we're throwing down a new Murder Metal Mayhem. We're in Hornsey Studios for the Hornsey Podcast Network, guys. Episode 208 going down tonight.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. So this is going to be a good one. I got Chris here in studio with me and Joey in his own 419 studios there in Toledo. How you doing, Joey?
Not bad, getting ready for this fucking storm to come through.
Yeah, we're going to get it first, and then it's coming your way. So, yeah.
I think it's just going to get worse on the way to you.
It might. And it looks like we got even a few days of it. Not as much. Thursday, Friday, there's going to be a little bit more, like an inch or so each day. So, yeah, so fun. But, hey, it's February, or getting to be February here in the Midwest. And that's what we do, is shitty weather. So wish I was in Arizona right now visiting my parents, which February is like the perfect time because a lot of the touristy things have discounts because February is their slowest month for tourism. So,
no shit.
Yeah,
really?
So it's a good time to go to Arizona. And the weather's like perfect, so. All right, what shirts we got going on here tonight, Chris? You got some camouflage there. You're trying to hide from me, I guess.
Yeah, I got my camouflage on, yeah. But I got the Baldwin Asylum fucking shirt rocking on.
Oh, fuck yeah, man. Baldwin Asylum.
Shirt. Sucks they fucking shut the doors for good. But
I know. I hope it reincarnates somewhere else because those guys are so talented,
right,
man.
Fucking,
just awesome.
The attraction was great. And I got my motherfucking beer church hat.
The beer church. I'm kind of wondering, or guessing that's going to be a fixture for a while, Joey.
Yeah,
what do you
this
think?
is kind of my hat for a while.
I can't imagine him putting the beer church hat away for anything, maybe other than a McCormick's hat. That might be kind of cool. And Joey, you got a sweet fucking T-shirt on over there, dude.
Old school style. I got the obituary slowly rot
nice.
Since the metal segment will be talking about that area.
Oh yeah, very very cool. And what about that hat? What's the hat?
This is the 419 hat.
Oh, that's right.
Got to represent that shit. I think Stephanie got it for me for Christmas.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And I got my Power Trip shirt on. I haven't worn this
Rip Riley Gale.
Hell yeah. So love those guys. And so, yeah, so that's awesome. Always like to kind of run down what our uniforms of the evening are. Because, metalheads, that's kind of what we do. We kind of check each other's shirts out at T-shirt at concerts.
Definitely.
The more obscure and like old school it is, the better it is. That's badass.
Yeah, especially something you never heard of before. It's like, what the fuck's that shirt, dude?
Exactly.
Like, hold on.
Now, last week, guys, we did a nasty one. Old German serial killer Joachim Kroll. What a fucking troll that motherfucker was, man.
I mean, it's just full of guts.
Yeah, pretty fucking sick, man. And we talked about his insane 21-year killing spree that involved female victims between 4 and 61. I mean,
That's
what
a
the
huge
fuck?
range.
Really awful. And he was only convicted of 8, but he confessed to many more. The police just fucking stopped after a while because they just wanted to put this motherfucker away for life, which they were, of course, able to do. But, we're talking pedophilia, cannibalism, and even bestiality.
Yeah,
So,
he loved fucking animals, too.
Yeah, he really did. So he was fucking disgusting. And Chris, you did the feature on a lovely band.
Yeah, fucking cock and ball torture, man.
Cock and ball torture. I always wondered what the deal was with that, and you explained it and
They're just
ran down.
porno grind.
Yeah,
fucking-
German band. So we did all German
Let's see how
metal.
offensive we can fucking get.
Right. We were all German metal too in this episode. We did a new Killer Cage match and the usual stuff. So if you missed it, episode 207, go give it a listen. We were just passing 900 when I checked it today. So thanks to everybody that's already listened. And if you missed it, go give it, give it a spin. Now tonight we're going to be doing a feature on San Quentin State Prison.
Hell yeah.
Very iconic California maximum security prison, nicknamed Joey the Arena. That just sounds fucking very bad.
No,
Right.
I would definitely not like hearing somebody say you're going to the arena, because that's
all I can think of
bloodshed,
legit
violence.
is gladiator shit.
Right, exactly. So we're going to have our buddy Tex on. We got to get a hold of him. We're doing a prison episode, and he is, of course, a prison corrections officer in Texas. So he's a great resource, and we're going to discuss the history of the prison, some of the infamous inmates. There's so fucking many. This is like an all-star team of fucking serial killers in this motherfucker. Other mayhem that it's gone on behind the walls, different riots and shit like that. And our prison episodes get a lot of listens. I'm always amazed that they're always at the top. The one we did on the Supermax is like blowing it the fuck up. It'll probably eventually get to that top 5.
It helps when you have somebody that's been working in the prison system putting in their knowledge as well.
Yeah, it brings that realism. We like to try to do that when we can, and Tex is a great resource. So we got him waiting in the wings. He's kind of warming up in the bullpen right now, and we'll do that, of course, in the murder segment. And then, Joey, you got the horns tonight, and I love your choice here. What did you decide to roll with for your feature this week?
Got the horns, and we all stepped away from band specific for a little bit. Chris did individual.
Chris set the tone.
He did heavy metal parking lot, and so I'm doing Morrisound Studios, and of course I'll talk about Scott Burns with that too. But talking Morrisound Studios tonight from Tampa, Florida, fucking iconic in the rise of death metal, American death metal specifically.
Oh yeah.
It'll be a fun one. It's good to talk about that shit.
No, that's a good one, and I'm going to
excited.
follow it up next week with another one like this. I'll explain later who I'm going to do.
Oh, yeah.
So, but that's a great choice and a very iconic, part of metal history for sure, and death metal big time, especially that Florida scene, just all about it. So, and then Chris, you got a Lost Classic for us?
I got one.
Awesome.
I got one.
And we're going to talk about that in the metal segment, as always. And, of course,
Ding,
our
ding,
fan
motherfucker.
favorite Killer Cage match. Man, that's just so brutal. That's where we have a list of 75 killers, 75 objects to fight with, a variable in the cage, and even a song playing while this shit is going down. It's a blast, and we got some listeners to say thank you to for giving us the random numbers.
Fuck yeah. Tonight we have Peggy 419.
Hell yeah.
Studio, or Sue. I said studio. 419, not 419 Studios, but Peggy 419 Sue. And we have Jack Ignatowski. And we got Ray Big Dog McFalls.
There he is again, Ray McFalls. Hell
Bams.
yeah, Jeff from Killer the Card Game, fucking awesome.
Thank you all for
and
fucking
Peggy
numbers.
Sue over there in the 419, very, very cool. And we got a good matchup tonight in the steel cage, fighting to the death, Joey. This is an interesting one, really.
We got fucking somebody that I used to write to in San Quentin Prison, as a matter of fact, since we're doing that.
That's right.
And that's Richard Ramirez. And the Night Stalker is going to be going up against the Candyman, Dean Coral from Texas.
Hell yeah. So that's going to
Fucking
be a
shit.
good one. That's going to be a good one. Rotten teeth and all, and fucking Ramirez. Candyman, though, brutal as fuck with the nailing dudes fucking dicks
his
to
van.
plywood and pretty fucking awful shit. So they're going to have a couple objects and a variable and a song jamming while they fight. It's going to be a good one. And they got to wait for it, Chris, in the Mayhem segment.
God, dude.
But it's coming. So you'll have that to look forward to. And big thanks to everybody out there listening. We keep, seeing numbers coming in that just blow me away. But we were at 2,800 this last week, so thanks you to everybody that's listening.
Y'all are shit, dude. Thank you for listening. I can't believe we're still doing this shit, honestly.
I know, dude. Here we're coming up on 5 years in a few months, so it's unbelievable. And I thought it was really cool. I looked at the top 10 cities listening, guys, and there's a town or city in Sweden called Jönköping. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. Jönköping, Sweden, in the top 10. So thank you to you guys over there listening. And Honolulu, Hawaii, how about that? Number 2 and been number 2 right behind Chicago. So fuck yeah, man. Like you said, Chris, in the pre-show, what a give us fucking trip. Or somebody over there knows a realtor or somebody get us over there.
Hook us up with an Airbnb or some shit.
Something. We would do a show from Hawaii. That would be pretty cool,
That'd be fucking dope.
Yeah, give us a +1 and we'll go over there to fucking Hawaii and have a nice vacation, Anyway, so we keep, just seeing that stuff, and it's just really cool. So thank you very much, and keep telling people about it. And definitely make sure you're checking out our website, murdermetalmayhem.com, where you can get a lot more information about what we do and why we do it and all that.
Definitely.
And I checked it today, 643,000 total listens.
We are close to 666,000.
Closing in on it. We're closing in on it. So we'll keep telling you how close we get, and it's going to be somewhere around the 5-year mark. I think it'll come before that, but it won't be that much farther before that. So they're both kind of coming to a head. It's kind of neat, hitting that 5-year stride.
Kind of excited.
In April, and then to see when we hit the 666,000 total listens. So, all right, well, guys, we got a lot on our plate tonight. We got to get Tex on the phone, taking a little trip across country to the West Coast, hoping we can keep our ass at a death row and not get shanked in the fucking process.
Oh, no, that's what we're doing. We got to get our shanking on.
Oh, shit. Fuck yeah, man. Some skeletal remains.
Fucking A, man. Those
Seismic Abyss. Those guys are badass. Been jamming the shit out of that for like 2 weeks now. And I told you guys this last week, but I'm going to just lay this out, okay? I have an idea for a drinking game that was inspired by what happened to me with skeletal remains, okay? Watching a true crime doc, they mentioned skeletal remains and whatever they were talking about.
But not the band, just actual skeletal remains.
They found some skeletal remains, and I'm like, man, it's been a little while since I've listened to skeletal remains. I feel like I want to listen to it now. And I've been binging on this shit for like 2 solid weeks, so I thought, you know what? This gave me an idea. I don't know what to call it, but I'm staking claim that this is my idea, okay? You put on a true crime documentary with your buddies. The more brutal, the better. Serial killer shit. And every time they say, and this is, of course, all metal, a band name, an album name, or a song name, you take a drink.
Getting drunk with true crime. Fuck.
Yeah, and if they mention a possible cool band name that nobody's using... Whoever claims that, hey, I think that would be a cool band name, you have to have somebody verify with a phone, but it would be very easy to do. If it's not taken, then everybody has to take a drink.
Everybody takes a shot or a drink.
And if it is taken, the dude that fucking said that has to drink 6.
Oh, shit.
So so you don't want to be wrong.
Damn,
so you need to be right with it.
You try to get me Shawback drunk.
Yeah, so blood spatter, murder weapon. I mean, there's all kinds of things they throw around in these documentaries, but I think that'd be cool. I'm just throwing it out there. So, Chris,
have to work with Jeff Ignatowski on that.
Yeah, there you go,
Right?
Chris. I mean, you might have to do like a field test.
God
of
damn,
that.
I might have
see
to.
what
I
happens with
get the
that.
boys together in the garage and we'll see what's up.
Yeah, you need to have somebody with it enough though that could look up shit on a phone.
Right.
So, you know,
I'll just get my daughters to do that.
yeah, get one of the kids to do that. It's a nice family activity. Meanwhile, we got our buddy Tex in here waiting to be introduced. Sorry,
What up,
Tex?
Tex?
What's happening, dude?
Oh, it's all good. Hey, it's going real good down here, man. It's pretty rainy, but what I want to know is
Yeah.
how Punky, Pierre, Joe Ball, and old Creole were doing after that fucking.
Oh
They
my
got waylaid in
god!
Toledo, man. What's up with that?
Well, they all went into Tex. They all went into the concussion protocol.
Yeah, because it's Sick Ripper.
Because they all got concussions from Sick Ripper hitting them with chairs, so they're all out of it now, but they're training privately, and that's the word, is that there's going to be some sort of rematch. I'm
Repercussion.
not sure what they've got planned, but
Sick Ripper out there ganging up his, but they might
Yeah.
all fucking form up together, and Sick Ripper might have to get a crew together and be
it
like,
could be another tag
Right.
team, or it could be some sort of weird
Fucking Royal
alliance. We
Rumble.
don't know. Or Royal Rumble. But yeah, that's definitely in the cards, Tex, because the listeners love that. When we did that, we get some really good commenters about that, so that's fucking cool.
And if the
Good
people
deal,
like
man.
that episode, we're gonna do a little thing in the new activity book to memorialize it. So
Yeah, yeah, that's
Sweet.
gonna be good. That's gonna be good.
Can't wait
you guys
for
be able to color the characters in.
Nice.
Cage match.
Yeah, the centerfold of the new activity book be the Killer Cage match. That's awesome, Joey. All right, well, we're talking prisons. That's why we got our boy Tex on here, because he's our guy to call, and the ladies love it when Tex comes on. So we got to give them what they
ladies
want.
love it.
So we got to give them what they want. Now we're
LL Cool T.
Right, exactly.
We're going to San Quentin tonight, guys. San Quentin State Prison, a maximum security institution known to
Going
the
back
inmates.
to Cali. Another LL Cool J reference. My bad.
Gonna be going to the fucking arena tonight. It's gonna get brutal, and we're gonna discuss the interesting history of the oldest prison in California. And of course, we're going to talk about the many, many infamous inmates that spent time there.
Yes.
And all sorts of mayhem that's happened inside those walls. So definitely ready for this one tonight. And Chris, we have done quite a few
We have,
prison
actually.
episodes.
been a
But, you
few.
know, what among the ones we've done, which ones come to mind as some of the
Like
more
obviously
favorites?
Black Dolphin, because that shit's insane.
I think that was the first one, if I'm not mistaken.
that was the first one. That
Yeah.
shit was insane. But I like the Sing Sing prison episode was really fucking good.
Yeah.
But the fucking Huntsville 11-day siege, or Huntsville, sorry.
Yeah.
11-day siege, dude. That motherfucker, that's a brutal
With
fucking.
the taco and
Yeah.
all that stuff.
Oh my God, dude. That shit was violent.
That was good. That was good. I really like the one we did in West Virginia with where they faked the bomb and they
Yeah.
threw it in the van and just drove right out the
We're
gate.
out
So,
there, yeah.
so there's been some good. Texas 7 was a
I
good
was
one.
just gonna say that.
And
that was
so-
Joey's idea for Texas
That
7.
was.
yeah.
That was. So, yeah, I mean, we've done some really good ones. And, Joey, this is definitely a famous prison. And, you know, what is it about the prison stories you think that piques the interest of the true crime nuts like us out there?
I mean, I don't know what it is over anything else, but obviously the real life aspect of it, people are attracted to that.
Right.
Whatever we're talking about right here is definitely not any kind of fiction or hearsay or whatnot. Whenever we talk about the prison shit, it's just some factual crazy shit that went down, you know.
Oh, yeah.
You get if people are into true crime and whatnot and they're fascinated by, you know, one killer or whatever, man, then you got all fucking kinds in the same fucking place.
Especially
Right.
this place, man. This is like
Oh,
a who's who of fucking serial killers in this motherfucker.
sure.
So, yeah, I think it really ties in nicely with the true crime nuts out there. And Tex, you know, we have you on these episodes because, of course, you work in the corrections industry. And, you know, what is it like for the guys working death row, I mean, dealing with these inmates in that type of environment, I mean, what is that about, man?
Yeah, by and large, for an officer, is really not that much different than like any other duty.
Okay.
I mean, we still got to do daily
said
counts,
duty.
feeding, showers. Yeah, duty. Yeah, showers and stuff like that, recreation and all that. The one thing that is different than from other assignments is that you always see the same faces every day. I mean, they're there from the time they get sentenced until the time they get executed. So,
Right.
It's not like a revolving door like the GP or anything like that. So,
Yeah, I could see that. I wondered if they're just more chill because they're kind of coming to grips with what's going to happen. Maybe not quite as, feisty as like the general population inmates.
Yeah, it does seem that way. I mean, we don't have a lot of use of force incidents or anything like that on death row. So,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, it's fascinating, like we were just talking about, how true crime fans definitely lean toward, the interest of the prisons and stuff, and these shows like Lock Up and all those have really, made people able to see a little bit at least of what it's like inside a prison. Right. It's to those of us that don't do what you do, it's very fascinating, and of course it's your line of work. So I'm sure it fascinates you as well, but from a different, way, I'm sure.
Yeah, I can't wait till we get smell-o-vision on TV. So,
yeah, oh yeah, for sure.
I mean, you don't think that prison already smells like ass? You want to smell it more?
Right?
Yeah, I'm reading a book, Behind Bars by Charles Bronson, not the actor, the inmate in the UK. But he has a whole glossary of prison terms, and I'm curious how many of them transfer to the U.S., but there's one in line of what we're talking about called the dirty protest, which is smearing shit all over your cell and everything.
Yeah.
I know that's what they do. I just don't know if it's called the dirty protest here. So
that shit doesn't make sense to me, though. Why would you want to fucking...
No.
Yeah,
we
that's
just call
disgusting.
it shitting down. So
shitting down.
Shitting down.
Nice.
Poo-poo pirates.
There you go. That's funny. So yeah, I mean, we have done some, really, iconic prisons. We've done some more obscure ones like Black Dolphin. The Supermax one was a good one we did, and that's getting a lot of listens. It's rising up quickly. Sing Sing, as you mentioned, Chris, Alcatraz was a good one. The New Mexico prison riot, the Attica riot, we've done all those and more. So
the riots are the crazy ones. I mean,
for sure,
don't get me
especially
wrong.
the New Mexico one is brutal
just
as
talking
fuck.
about the prison's fucking
Mexico
crazy,
one.
but those fucking riots is just like, holy shit. We're able to do a whole episode just on a few days of what happened in this prison, not the whole.
Right.
Holy fuck, man.
Yeah, the New Mexico one I learned about from the Exodus song. Last Act of Defiance.
Right.
And I was like, man, what's that about? And Googled it when Google was a thing. I was like, holy shit. So, you guys know I've
Did you
mentioned.
say when Google was a thing?
Well, it wasn't.
Oh, well,
when
okay.
it
No,
finally became
never mind. I got you. Never mind. I was like, wait, when did Google die?
And I've mentioned this before. My dad, of course, was a parole officer in New York at Bedford Hills Women's Prison. And I grew up hearing a lot of these type of stories from his experience there, as well as other institutions he had done training at and visited, like Attica, Greenhaven, Sing Sing, and some of these other ones. So it's just something that I've been exposed to, from my whole life, and it's fascinating. Now, Chris, you've done some time in county, and I came to visit you when you were there.
Fuck yeah, you did.
And we had to talk through glass, though. That was weird. I wasn't expecting
No,
that.
we wasn't talking.
I was
through-
on the phone.
Yeah, we was talking on video.
The video phone. That's right.
So that's crazy.
That was
shit.
weird. But, I can't imagine being in that kind of situation. I mean, you were there for a little bit.
Yeah, it was, the longest I ever did was in county. It was only 45 days, but still, it sucks. It's not fun.
No.
But yeah, like the visits, like now that they're on video, it's really fucked up. Like you don't even get to physically interact with your parents or children or significant other.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like doing what we're doing right now on Zoom. It's exactly this. This is our visits.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if it's that way. Is it that way in your DOC?
Is it like that in Texas with the visits?
Actually, we have contact visits. Then we have behind the glass visits, and we also have video visits now.
Right.
Through the tablet. The inmates are getting tablets now, and they can do visits through that.
Oh, wow.
Joe, could you imagine if you had a tablet when you was locked up, homie?
I know, it's so weird. Like, I write, like, I haven't been locked up for a really long time.
Right.
Awesome.
I know that.
I've had a few friends that have gone to jail, and, like, it's just crazy how it's changed in the last, like, 10 years or whatever. Because I've always been, like, keen on writing my friends that are locked up because I know how that shit feels, you know, so I'll write somebody, but now it's like if I send them a drawing or if I send them pictures or anything like that, they don't even really get that. It goes to a middleman who scans all that shit, and they don't even get the originals.
They get the
just
digital.
pop it up on their tablet or whatever.
Oh, wow.
So things are a lot different, and even in the jail system, like inmates are fucking technologically advancing too. You know, even if it's against their will.
Yeah, that's interesting. Wow, I had no idea that was going on. That's crazy. Now I mentioned that that book Behind Bars, but there's another thing I thought was fascinating. How he explains what the term screw, where that comes from, as a slang for a guard. He said that back in the day, there was a punishment involving manual labor where the inmates had to do a repetitive motion, like over and over and over. And to make that harder, the guards would turn a screw to make it harder for them to do that. And so that's where the term screw comes from. So I thought that was interesting. Now,
No shit.
I'm curious, like I
know
said,
that.
if that's because that's UK, and I'm sure, you know, things are different, but I just thought that was kind of neat because I've heard that used as a slang for, you know, prison guards and things like that. So,
Yeah, I heard it like I guess when we did the Alcatraz episode, they called them screws.
that's right. And it's like an old school, like
Yeah, it's old
convict
school. I've
type
seen it in
deal.
like old school, like gangster movies and shit.
Yeah, so that I just
Right.
thought that was kind of neat. Now, Joey, as you mentioned, you know, you've done time in prison here in Illinois. I know it's been a long time ago, but I mean, I think doing these episodes from your vantage point, I mean, we were just mentioning Tex, but, you know, you and Chris in some small ways also, you know, experienced that. I have not. So, I mean, I'm just, you know, how much of that kind of sticks with you? I'm sure, you know, not fond memories for sure.
No, it fucking sucks. I mean, it could have been way worse for me. It could have been better for me, you know, pretty much with any situation in life. But I think it is cool how we can, you know, with all of our different perspectives come into the podcast. That's what makes it more of a broad spectrum to where I think we cover stuff and actually discuss things.
Right.
So people, you know, they really do get the raw deal whenever they come in and fucking talk to us and shit, you know.
Right.
Or listen to us talk, I guess. But you know, that shit as far as like sticking with you and shit, like the things that you're humbled by whenever you're locked up, and the things that you learn that you missed out on in life and shit while you're locked up, like you'll never forget those things. You'll remember that, and it actually, you know, helps act as a deterrent from doing bogus shit probably later in life to a certain point, you know. But one thing I always thought was fucking really crazy about whenever I was locked up, though, and I've heard other people say this too, but you know, you're spending every day in there, and you're like, God, this fucking sucks, and you're like counting down the minutes and the days so you can get back out to like the real world and shit.
Right.
You know, you do all this time, or I mean, just in my case, I guess, you know, I did years, and then I get back out, and it wasn't probably like, you know, a week or so later, and you're back in the swing of being in the streets and being back
doing your
to
thing.
real life. And it's crazy how fast it kind of slips by you that you're like, oh, I'm not even locked up anymore, and it doesn't even seem like it was that big a deal, you know. as you were living it. I don't know. It's hard to explain.
No, I get what you're saying.
It dissipates quickly from your mind, but at the same time, all the shit that you went through will never ever leave. So
yeah,
Right.
I mean, the closest thing I could come to saying that would be basic training. Basic training in AIT
Yeah.
was like 6 months, and that sucked. I mean,
Yeah.
there was some laughs, of course, but I mean, that's a fucking brutal time for me to, and it sticks with me. I mean, there's often I reference something that happened or something I learned when I was in that training mode,
almost the whole time that I was locked up, the second, because I went to prison twice. I'm a stupid statistic, like most people are repeat offenders, and I mean, I'm in my 40s now, and I got out whenever I was 23, so it's been a long time. But anyway, like the second time I was locked up, I did more substantial time. I think I did almost 3 years then, but almost the exact same time period that I was going through everything, my buddy Jackson, he was going through, he had enlisted in the military, and he ended up doing 2 tours over in Saudi Arabia.
Right.
And, me and him wrote back and forth the entire time, and the parallels and the similarities between what he was going through and what I was going through, like obviously there were huge differences, but
still,
the things that were the same were fucking. It was crazy.
Interesting.
How many things that we rode, the same path a little bit because of what we were doing.
Right. Interesting. Yeah, I think it's cool, and I like the way you put that about we all bring that perspective in here, and I think that's what makes these prison episodes interesting.
Yeah.
Now, I got into character writing the notes this week, guys. I ate some ramen noodles. Haven't had any ramen in a while. I was looking in the cupboard because I was hungry, and it was lunchtime, and I'm working on the notes. And I'm looking through shit, and I'm like, oh, fuck yeah, some ramen sounds good, man. I'm going to go prison.
Get some chili and some
fucking
cheese
hot
whiz
plate in my fucking cell and fucking
whiz,
make some fucking... some ramen. So I got into a little bit into character with this one. I also went to the California Department of Corrections website to get some of the background info on the prison. Figured hear from them, and it would be correct. I also learned that it was originally named after a Native American chief, Quentin, but it was spelled a little differently.
Not Tarantino?
Not Quentin. No, apparently not. A little before his time. But 1834, the Spanish land grant spelled it as we spell it now, but Puente de Quintin, or Point of Quintin, and that's now how it's evolved to San Quentin. So kind of interesting with the name and stuff. Originally built in 1852, and oldest prison in California. I was amazed that this sits on 432 acres of prime fucking
it's
real
in a
estate.
fucking nice, like
That's
the neighborhood
fucked up.
surrounding it is fucking pretty nice.
Yeah, I mean, it overlooks the fucking coast up by San Francisco, 12 miles north of the Golden Gate Bridge. Absolutely beautiful there. And many have questioned why they don't move the fucking place somewhere and sell that fucking land. I mean, holy shit. And it has been a hot debate that heats up during elections, as always. It does seem like a waste, though, to give the inmates that beautiful view. And
I mean, they can't see shit.
Right. But I mean, it's just this prison overlooking such a picturesque, like postcard type view seems kind of strange. But it is what it is. Originally, though, it was only 20 acres, and it was purchased for $10,000. So that's kind of crazy. And today worth many millions, possibly billions, when you think about, a high dollar golf courses, resorts, these estate, massive homes, that sort of thing.
They could fucking probably sell the property, build a new prison, and still have some kind of landowners fucking signing off them money every year, like millions of dollars every year.
I mean, it does seem crazy, but of course, they're doing whatever they think they need to do, but it just seems to me like a waste of prime real estate. Now, Tex, the inmates call this place the arena, and that to me does not sound like a good thing. But I'd like to hear where did they come up with that? I mean, why are they calling it the arena?
From what I read, from it was like a 50-year time span from the 1890s to the 1940s. There were 215 executions carried out, and it was all hanging, and they were done out in the open for everybody to see.
God damn.
So I think,
Wow.
that's what I read of where it comes from. Also, places like that, call it the arena because it's kind of like a gladiator school.
Exactly,
if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's what Joey was
so-
saying too in the intro was that kind of gives him or Chris, you said the gladiator sound when you hear the arena. Was you, Chris?
Yeah, whatever, dude. But yeah, it's the way it is. It's like
You know you're going to be fighting. You know you're going to be called upon to fucking go into the arena. So definitely does not bode well on the bus trip over there, I'm thinking, so.
Hell no.
Oh.
Kind of like that bus trip I took to Fort Knox, Kentucky back a few years ago.
So the inmates got inmates got a nickname for your prison over there, Tex, or what?
Yeah, let's see. You got Cofield Prison. That's in East Texas. That's called the Glass House. And that's because the whole top of the place is like a glass.
Wow.
Like it looks like a greenhouse.
Really?
Oh, cool.
And then,
So
and
they
then
get
not
daylight?
far from there again. Yeah, they do, man.
Nice.
Hey, and in the summer when it's hot, they bust out the glass. So yeah,
That's fun.
and then they don't fix it by the time it gets winter. So now they're freezing their asses off. So yeah, and then you got Ferguson Unit that's not far from there. That was actually called the Gladiator Farm. And then, of course, y'all already know the Walls Unit, Huntsville Unit, where Death Row, So, there's nicknames all around, man.
Yeah, I think that's kind of neat, though. But, this place called the Arena definitely makes me think that there's some ass whipping ready to fucking happen at a moment's notice. So,
Oh, yeah.
Now, the prison was built to deal with a lot of lawlessness in California at that time. So, the inmates being, held in the Waban, which is a ship off the coast. So that's kind of wild. They kept the inmates on this ship.
I mean, it makes sense. They can't go nowhere.
I guess.
I mean, I guess they can. Yeah. They tried off Alcatraz.
Yeah, it just struck me as odd. And they stayed on that ship while they were working on the prison. And that prison for a while was called Bastille by the Bay. Legend has it that 40 or 50 inmates built the original prison. And this, we've talked about this before. It was a common thing at the time, the inmates actually building the institution.
Oh, definitely.
And, it's been going on for centuries.
You think they were on that fucking boat watching this building get built like, please finish. I need to get off of this boat.
Yeah, I'm getting fucking seasick, man. There's no Dramamine. I'm getting fucking seasick. And I was also surprised to know the prison housed both male and female inmates until 1933. So that surprised me.
There's probably babies born in that bitch.
Very possible. Very possible.
No doubt.
So the prison is made up of 4 cell blocks. You got the north, south, east, and west, plus a maximum security cell known as the Adjustment Center.
That don't sound good.
That sounds very bad. Yeah, very
That's
clinical.
ominous right there.
Yeah, it's very clinical, Like, oh boy, that doesn't sound good.
You gonna learn today, boy.
Yeah, I mean, between the arena and the fucking Adjustment Center, I'm not getting good vibes here.
Right.
And there is also a central healthcare building for kind of routine medical stuff, a medium security dorm, and a firehouse. Not to mention, this is the only prison in California with death row, currently doing death row, and a gas chamber. Now, they do lethal injections now, but they actually
Here's my thing about that being the
chamber.
only California prison with death row. What makes you think it's smart to house all of these murderers together in one fucking place?
Yeah.
What makes you think that's a good idea?
I don't know, man. I
Makes
don't know.
no
I've
sense
never
to me.
thought about that, but
Well,
what were you going to say, Tex?
well, that's the way Texas does it as well.
That's right.
Well, They got the females at Mountain View, but all the males are at
Huntsville.
Pulaski.
Oh, yeah, you've said that
Yeah, it's
before.
east of
It
Huntsville,
just don't
yeah.
make sense to me, man.
Yeah.
All housed together.
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess it's, you got people trained to deal with them. So, I mean, I guess that maybe makes sense, I don't know. But
Right.
I read, Chris, the gold rush of 1849 was what, obviously brought a lot of people there.
Oh, there's murders going down.
Yeah,
fucking
when you
Gold
got
Rush,
all that going on,
people
yeah.
staking their claim.
Right.
Fucking motherfucker comes over and like, no, you're finding lots of gold. I'm just gonna put you down, steal your fucking gold,
Right.
fucking, and I'm out, and they get caught. It
Plus, they're
definitely-
drinking, they're partying.
What's that? Hey,
There was no Shawback Nation or anything.
I feel attacked, bro.
There was no Shawback Nation to kind of house some of these derelicts,
Yeah,
so
I
they're-
mean, that would definitely put a lot of criminal activity going on during the gold rush for sure.
So, I mean, it makes sense that, now all of a sudden they need this prison here. Originally built for 250 inmates, but they outgrew that quickly. And also, I saw that they privately managed it originally. And the company that did that was hiring the inmates out. And so you could see a lot of, abuse going on there. Cheap labor, these guys are getting rich off these fucking
Right.
inmates.
Basically slaves making
Yeah, I mean, definitely like slaves. I mean, it's fucking brutal. And they were also subjected to beatings, floggings, being sprayed with high pressure hoses. And I was curious exactly how they define flogging, and it's being hit with a whip or a stick. So in case you're listening, you're like, I've heard of that. I don't know exactly what that is. I put in the work and fucking found out what the hell that
I've
was.
seen videos of that on certain websites that I won't.
Oh, okay. All right.
That shit happened to Molly, though.
Molly.
Flogging
Yeah,
Molly.
man.
Yeah.
Now, so, we put in the extra work here at Murder Metal Mayhem. Now, Joey, it's amazing the security was so fucking lax. Did you see how many fucking escapes they had? In 1854 alone, I mean, holy shit, dude. 80.
They said there was upwards of 80, yeah.
That's
and,
nuts.
You're talking about, this is back whenever they're flogging and doing all this other shit. So
Right.
I'm thinking that, there was a lot of escapes. But back then, they were probably like, hey, if you escape, that means you're fucking free game for us to hunt you down.
Right.
So back then, it might almost been like, ooh, we got one that got out. Let's go get them, boys. And
That's
it might have been
true.
a good time for them.
Yeah, like a sport, Oh, fuck yeah, we got one. We got a runner today. Let's get him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
that's got to. Back then, that had to have been an absolute death sentence. Like, if you escaped, you ain't coming back. You're fucking shoot to kill.
that's very possible,
Yeah.
man. Pretty lawless time period, A lot of chicanery going on there, I'm sure. But I thought that was interesting that happened in 1 year alone, though. And the state, though, Joey, took it back in 1855 because they needed to get...
They're like, okay. Yeah, they're like, we're over this bullshit. We need to get a little structure going
Right.
back in this. So.
Yeah, and at that time I saw that the lieutenant governor of California was serving as the prison's warden. So whatever, new office took, or new lieutenant governor was in, a government, then they would become the warden. But
Well, fucking Illinois, most of your government ends up serving in prison. So.
yeah.
Hey, just because you just recently moved out of Illinois, you can't just say he's out. He was your governor once too, motherfucker.
Hey, we know how to create the inmates, right at the top. So yeah, so that's true. Here in Illinois, the governors are not the wardens; they are the inmates.
Yeah, that's so fucking crazy.
It is. But that ends in 1880 when they knew they needed more of a full-time warden to actually run the place instead of just some political appointed one. And they ended the practice of flogging the inmates and hitting them with the high-pressure hoses. So that's good.
But they didn't stop with the beatings.
Apparently not. Beatings are
Floggings
still on
and
the
high-pressure
table.
hoses no good. Just you beat the fuck out of them. Though. That's fine.
Now, Tex, we've talked about this subject a lot doing these episodes about prisons, but the change in how inmates have been treated is obviously so much different nowadays. And you've always offered good insight there, but can you elaborate on the way inmates are treated and the whole idea of them coming back into society? I've always enjoyed hearing you talk about that.
Yeah, kind of up until like the 80s or so, when they did all those prison reforms, seemed like prisons were geared more towards punishment more than rehabilitation.
Right.
But there's a lot of really good programs and initiatives that they've put forth with getting folks back into society successfully. And I mean, it's a good thing that we're not doing the punishment thing anymore, and we are getting people back out into society, because recidivism, going back into prison, has dropped. I don't know, in Texas it was 62% back in the day, and now it's, I think, 17 or 18%.
Oh, wow.
Damn.
We're doing something right.
That's great.
I mean, that's a good thing.
Yeah,
dude.
that's
It's
impressive. I mean, seriously, it's a tough task to take these people. A lot of them are mentally, have mental health issues. It's hard to take somebody
that's
like
the biggest problem.
Yeah,
there.
and turn them into a productive citizen. I mean, that's a tall order. So to drop it that much, that definitely shows you guys are doing something right.
And that high number is like back in the 50s, 60s. So
Sure. Still, though, I think that's impressive, and like we've been saying, I mean, no reason to do any of that kind of abuse. It's only going to create hostility, and it's going to put the corrections officers at a much greater risk, I would think, because you got these inmates fucking pissed off. They just got the shit beat out of them,
Yeah, it's not good. They're not.
Yeah.
Why would they want to be nice to the fucking corrections officer when they're getting beat the fuck for whatever?
Yeah, it's just not good for anybody.
Yeah.
So that's awesome to hear about that drop in the recidivism.
Kind of like what happened to me. What kind of happened to me on one Halloween, we were handing out candy, and this familiar face walks up with her kids and says, "Hey, what are you doing?" I'm like, "Hey, I know you from whatever unit." So yeah,
that's not good.
get them back out into society. Yeah, if I had done something to piss her off back in the day, now she knows where I live.
Right,
but it was still like a thing to where like it was not a bad thing. The interaction wasn't a bad thing, not like coming at you, attacking you, or anything like that, right?
No.
Yeah.
It was more
Cordial.
cordial.
Cordial,
Right.
yeah.
Cordial.
Yeah, that's for sure. And I, have done some training in prisons before, and actually saw one of my students from the prison at my office for a refresher class, and I looked at him and I'm like, man, I know this guy from somewhere. And he looked at me and he's like, Pete, I didn't escape or anything. I just got out last week. I need my refresher class. He's going to work. So that was funny. And the class is like looking at me like, what? It was funny. So yeah, it's cool to see him on the outside and going to work and doing good. So definitely turned him around. And there was one inmate I trained that I kept in touch with by letter, and then when he got out, he stopped by and said hi, and I've been kind of keeping touch with through some mutual friends on how he's been doing, and he's been out for probably 10-15 years, and he's married, has a couple of kids. He's like completely turned it around. So yeah, it's
awesome.
It's possible, and it is awesome to see that. So
Look at Joey, dude. He's not out there fucking killing
that's
cops
right.
and
That's
shit.
right. He's doing a podcast, and he's all professional with his obituary shirt and a Jim Jones mask over his shoulder. So, so yeah, it makes sense, to make prison a bad time and deter them from getting back. But, I don't think it needs to be, the beating and all that shit. And I think, anything you could do to kind of help these guys get back on track is a good thing. There's been many renovations over the years, and they've had to expand to more, housing more inmates. I mean, it's just a fact of life. And the original 20 acres, as I said, became 432 to make room for the growing institution. So definitely, constantly being renovated. Now,
They
Chris,
should have fucking only bought fucking 400 acres instead of 412. 420.
yeah, there you go.
420.
Now, Chris, they executed the first inmate by hanging in 1893, apparently. He was a convicted
Yeah.
murderer.
Like you said, and they were doing that shit in fucking pub, like the whole yard, doing it out in the yard and shit. All
Right.
the other inmates see that shit happen. Like,
Yeah.
and I know we've had stories about hangings. They don't always go as planned. Sometimes
Right.
motherfuckers are struggling there for
H.H.
15,
Holmes,
20
right?
Yeah, H.H. Holmes, for instance. Yeah.
Right.
Struggling. And I feel like that's a thing to make you not want to fuck up in prison and
That's
do
true.
another thing. But
Yeah, see somebody struggling for a good minute or two. That's pretty
like,
brutal.
That's not fun. And
No.
fucking Folsom was doing the same shit, but
Yeah, I didn't realize that at that time Folsom State Prison was also doing the executions too. So, but that only was until 1937. So San Quentin's the only place doing them now. So.
right now, fucking what is it? Clarence Allen was the last person executed in
Yeah.
Cali.
2006. I was surprised.
How long they sit around in Texas there, Tex?
I think the average is like 20 and a half years, something like that.
Wow.
Damn.
That's still a
Yeah.
long fucking time, man.
Right?
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's a very
I mean,
long
with
time.
all the appeals and everything, though, fucking.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. I think they should have the right to appeal it and all that, but it does seem like a goddamn long time. It's just always been like that, it seems, or at least in modern time. Back in the day, we talked about these guys, back in
next
the
day-
50s, like a year later, they're in the fucking ground.
No, the
man.
next motherfucking day, they're just like in the gallows, like done.
Yep.
4 hours later, if you're a witch.
Now, in 1938, the gas chamber was put in. It was used until 1996 when they started doing lethal injection. And as you said, Chris, they executed 215 inmates at San Quentin so far. All of them were men, no women. And Folsom executed 92 and also all men. So no female executions in California, which is interesting. And Tex, I know that you've had some experience dealing with females in that kind of a setting. How does that differ, females on death row as compared to males in that environment, or is it similar?
It's actually pretty similar, but the males, they do a lot of reading. They go to rec a lot and things like that. Do a lot of push-ups, sit-ups, all that stuff. But the
You
female,
gotta be in prime core fucking mint condition when you
For
die.
the arena, man.
yeah, you do.
But what about
Yeah.
the women, though?
The females, they do a lot of, you won't even guess it, in a million years, they do a lot of crocheting.
I was
Crochet.
I was
Can
gonna
you imagine?
say knitting or some shit like that.
Female, yeah, man, murderers with crochet hooks. Can you imagine that?
That's crazy.
First few times I saw that, I was like, hey, give me that. So, yeah,
Interesting.
freaked me out.
Yeah, really, for sure.
So
yeah.
like, as far as like they're not allowed to crochet hooks, right? Or they are?
Females?
What's that?
Oh, yeah.
they are. Okay,
Yeah, they have, yep.
right on.
Yeah, you'd think that would be a fucking weapon and a half there.
Oh, I'm sure
Yep.
it is.
Are they metal?
Yeah, they donate all that. Yeah, they're metal. They're just regular crochet hooks.
Right,
They donate all that stuff to some charity.
right. Like clothing kids and whatnot, shit like that.
Right, blankets and stuff.
Hell yeah.
Interesting.
Tex is like, make me some mittens, bitch.
Hey, Janine, make me a fucking blanket. Oh, shit.
I want to send it to my buddy's studio.
Yeah, right? Oh, man. A blanket by Janine
Hey, you know,
Jones in the
That'd be
studio.
fucking nuts.
That might be a
shit.
good idea, man. I'll see if that can happen.
That'd be the shit, dude. That'd
be awesome.
That'd be the shit. Now, I worked in prisons a bit for my day job, and I'd have to say I'd rather be in a men's joint than a female prison because they are some of the most foul-mouthed fucking just nasty. I mean, just vindictive. You know, the staff has always told me they try to play any angle they can to get you in trouble and start shit and just all kinds of nonsense, you know. And
hey, man, you could take a hoe out the street, but you can't take the street out the hoe.
yeah, I mean, my dad always said the same thing too, working in Bedford Hills, just the kind of shit that goes on in the female prison as compared to the men's prison. So I think I've heard that, you know, from more than one person.
Have you ever been to the bar and seen the females like at a fucking show, and you go into the females bathroom at the fucking bar the show's at, and you walk into the men's bathroom there's two different situations going on. The men's bathroom is disgusting, dude. I mean, the men's ain't great.
Yeah.
But goddamn, the women's is gross.
Yeah, it can be. It can be. You know, they're just, I don't know what it is about it. I don't know if it's just my perception of what a female's supposed to talk like and sound like is not exactly remotely close to what's going on there. So I think that's part of it. But, you know, I don't know.
We're fucking canceled. We're
canceled now, dude. Fuck.
Yeah. You might as well hang it up, right? So, you know, when you talk about infamous, though, inmates at this place, I mean, holy shit. This is, like I said, like an all-star team here of serial killers. You got Charles Manson, of course, coming to mind. Joey, you mentioned fucking Richard Ramirez. You wrote to the Night Stalker. I know you've mentioned that before, but what was that? What was that about? How many letters did you exchange with him? And when was that?
Letters.
The 90s?
No, this was probably like around 2005 to 2010 probably.
Oh, okay.
It was about 5. It was somewhat. Cool. It was a while. I think 5 years that I wrote to him.
Okay.
And so it was quite a few letters too. Like it's probably like a couple dozen.
And we got the copy of one of them underneath the mask right here.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's really cool.
That was interesting. I was just looking to write one and write a serial killer. And Richard Ramirez, I saw some post that he was trying to get his artwork out or something. And so that's the angle I took, plus the fact that I had been locked up before. You know, I was trying to connect with him in that way. And
right.
I never came at him talking about any of his crimes or anything like that. So he was pretty, you know, just chit-chat with me and shit, and it was pretty cool. But
that is cool.
You know, I've thought about doing it with other people and stuff, but nowadays with all your with them having your information and your address, like not all that shit's really smart to be playing games.
Right. I don't know, man. I thought about writing Lori Vallow, dude. I don't know.
I was going to write to Joe Matheny right before he died, and then I was like literally getting ready to write the letter, and he died. I'm like, fuck, you know.
I've really been wanting to write a BTK because I always thought, like, if anybody was ever going to talk about shit they were doing, it would be that guy.
Right,
you know?
Right.
Plus, I don't see him having like minions out in the world that are going to come fucking, you know, clip my grass and fucking, you know, be a fucking piece of shit to me and fucking stalk me or whatever from their meter readers and shit. He doesn't have like Manson like fucking stamina like that. You know, so.
That's a good point.
But I don't know. So maybe one day I will try to contact another one or something like that. But
yeah, I think if I lived by myself, I'd be more apt to do it. But I'm always like, you know what? I don't know if I want to put other people in that sort of.
I'm gonna write Tommy Karate and be like, "Fuck you, dude."
Oh, dude, don't even shut your mouth. We don't need that. We don't need fucking anybody come calling there. That's for sure. All right. So other than these two, we got Danny Trejo. The actor was in there. And, of course, he turned his life around big time. He's a big-time actor. He's a business owner, which is super cool. He was on set with his cousin who is he was, God damn it, why can't I think of his cousin's name?
Robert Rodriguez.
Yeah, Robert Rodriguez. Yeah, he was on a set after he got out of prison, and they were filming something. He's like, hey, can we use you for extra or whatever, and that's basically how his acting career started out, getting out of prison.
I think it was like Dusk Till Dawn, right?
What's that?
I think it was Dusk.
No,
Till
it was
Dawn.
before, dude. He did like quite a few movies before that, dude.
Interesting.
But hence the one I want to talk about real quick, fucking Blood In, Blood Out. Fucking like when he like, because they filmed part of that in Quentin, and I've like listened to a bunch of shit about Danny Trejo talking about his life or whatever, and like he remembers like actually being part of it being recorded where his cell was when he was in, and he's just like, it kind of brought shit back, like, holy fuck, dude, look where I'm at now compared to like, so yeah, no, Danny Trejo is an amazing motherfucker, dude. That dude's awesome.
Yeah, no, I totally love him too. The country singer Merle Haggard, he did some time there, 1957 and 1960.
Yeah.
Of course, old Scott Peterson, that piece of shit that killed his pregnant wife Lacey, that was like major news for a long time.
In that documentary, the motherfuckers are talking like, no, that's a fucking trophy. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah. What if you get Scott Peterson like, oh, that's a trophy?
Yeah.
I'm fucking number 2 pencil breaking it off. Like, holy fuck, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then some other serial killers just kind of running down this list. William Bonin, Randy Kraft, our boy Charles Ng, Richard Chase, Harvey Glattman, Lawrence Bittaker, Roy Norris, Rodney Alcala.
So many.
I mean, holy crap. I mean, quite a few of those we've done. And if we haven't, they're on the list to do. Just about all of them but Bonin and Kraft. I think we've done all the rest.
We did Kraft.
Did we? I don't remember doing
my God.
Kraft.
I think we did.
I think we did.
Okay, maybe it's just.
I think we did William
I
Bonin
mean,
too.
208 fucking episodes.
I'm pretty sure we did Bonin too.
I don't think I'm obviously wrong if we've done Kraft.
I might be wrong too, but holy fuck, dude.
So I mean, it's amazing how many of these that we've covered, you know, just from this one prison. And Chris, that's a lot of fucking, you know, all-stars in the true crime world for sure. But do you think that's why this place is so well known, because of the notorious inmates?
So many fucking notorious inmates, and just like the way it's been glamorized in like movies and fucking books and TV shows, whatever. Like San Quentin Prison is the most, I think. There's Folsom, there's Rikers, there's fucking Alcatraz but up there. But somebody hears San Quentin and they're like, oh shit, something bad happened there.
Right.
Like, you don't think good things about fucking San Quentin. So I think that's a huge thing why this prison's so well known.
Yeah, I think so too. And it's obviously been around way before anybody that's alive today would know. So it's like always been there kind of thing. And it's very ominous sounding, you know. Never a good thing follows the word San Quentin. That's
basically where like the huge like prison gangs that run the streets still, like the Black Guerrilla family and the Aryan Brotherhood and whatnot. That they basically started in Quentin from there. So it's like, holy shit, they're very notorious for everything.
Yeah.
Like, who else was in there? Tookie fucking, what's his, Williams? Is that his last name? Fucking started that started the Crips. Fucking, he was in there. Fucking just so many fucking people, man.
Yeah, it's endless. And I think because it's got that death row, you know, that's where you're going to have, like you said, Chris, the worst of the worst. Now, Joey, another thing, you know, we talk about on these prison episodes of these extreme violent, you know, altercations, riots, and shit like that goes on. And you saw that big rise in violence in the 60s and 70s at prison. Do you think that that's related to or in correlation with, you know, the civil rights and all that kind of turbulence going on inside of a prison?
I definitely feel like that had a lot to do with it. The whole political aspect at that time of anti-authoritism.
Right.
You know, fuck the government and all that shit. Now, something else, too, is you're talking 60s and 70s, and that's like, you know, Chris was saying, you know, Tookie, fucking founder of the Crip, fucking Punky, respect, yo, word up. But you had a rise in the gangs coming out of the prisons, and especially like back then in like the 60s and 70s, like the biker gangs, fucking
Hell's Angels and
ran
shit.
fucking prisons.
Yeah.
Oh god, they were in prison doing exactly what they were doing in the streets. And I remember fucking whenever I was locked up and shit, I saw like there were some guys that had been gone fucking forever, you know, and they had been in Pontiac or whatever way back in the day.
Oh my god.
They were showing me pictures in their fucking photo albums of like them and all their fucking like their buddies back then, just like hanging out on the yard. And these guys had like, they had their motorcycle vests on in prison.
Yeah, back in the day.
Fucking, yeah, they all had their colors on with their fucking bandanas and all that shit. Like, obviously all that shit, like, not too long down the line would all get fucking, you know, torn down by the prison system, and they made sure that shit wasn't fucking as prominent. But back then, they used to fucking just be proud about that shit, fucking doing it up, I guess, you know. Wow. So the fact that there was a huge rise in crime and violence going on,
and a lot of drugs too. I mean, the 60s and 70s with all those drugs, and you know how drugs get into
that
prison.
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
So you got all kinds of drugs coming in, and these guys are all volatile because of all that turmoil. Like we've said before, you know, prison is like a microcosm of, you know, the world. So, you know, whatever's going on in the world is going to eventually get to the inmates too. So it just kind of makes sense to me that has something to do with it. And Tex, what is or how are racial relations dealt with currently in your world with the state of Texas?
We haven't really had a whole lot of issues with that lately.
That's good.
Especially since like 2010. And believe it or not, Texas doesn't segregate based on race or anything like that.
It's probably because you cut their eyes out so they can't see each other anyway.
So they'll house a black inmate with a Hispanic inmate in the same cell?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yep. It's mostly to do with sentence length, size, weight, age, their violent tendencies, stuff like that, their disciplinary histories. Kind of match people up like that and put them together.
So you're not going to put some
really
5 foot.
Anything about
you're
race.
not going to put like a 5 foot 200-pound guy in a cell with a 500-pound, you know, fucking jacked up motherfucker. Then
no,
that's good.
Not at all.
So
if they
like,
do, somebody's getting in trouble.
Yeah.
So like, do they have the option to like come to like a committee or whatever and be like, hey, we would like to be out together, we're compatible? Do they have that option at all?
Yes, but then again, that's suspect when they start asking to live with somebody. There's a reason for that.
Yeah.
You're in some type of relationship.
So there's this podcast that I haven't listened to in a while. Because we were doing San Quentin, I just popped up because they recorded in San Quentin. One of the dudes is an inmate, but it's called Ear Hustle, and they talk about that, like how they have the option where they can go to a committee and be like, hey, we're actually, and they have like the same sentences basically. They're doing like life or 20 to life or whatever, but they can come to a committee and be like, hey, we're compatible. Everything with this, our whole prison life has been this way. We're not doing anything wrong, and we just feel like it's good to live together. And at the same time, there was another one on the same episode about the cellies. Like, two brothers were in prison together and like, oh, we should be cellies, we're brothers. And it didn't work out for shit.
No.
They hated each other once they were cellies. They're like, no, fuck you, dude.
It sounds like that Prison Break shit where they put the same.
I was just going to say Prison
the brothers
Break.
on the same fucking cell block, which is just fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, dude, I don't know. Hey, Tex, check it out if you got time. It's called Ear Hustle though, but it's
Ear Hustle.
Yeah, it's goddamn San Quentin inmate records it with some lady that comes in to their AV studio, and they record this podcast, and they talk to inmates all the time about different stories about prison life, like straight up about their prison life, dude.
Interesting. Huh, that's pretty cool. So I read that there was a failed escape in 1971 that left 6 people dead. Another issue at San Quentin, like with most prisons, is of course overcrowding, and it's built for 3,100 inmates, but they have far exceeded that number. And like we've talked about with the New Mexico riot, the one that comes to mind from 1980, inmates overcrowded is like a friggin', fucking stick of dynamite ready to go off.
I mean, county does the same shit.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's just common all the way around, right?
If motherfuckers like me would stop breaking laws, god damn it.
Now, Tex, can you discuss, the whole overcrowding issue? I mean, how is that handled where you are? I mean, with that whole situation.
Our prison system is big enough where if one place gets overcrowded, we can shift population to somewhere else. So it's not really an issue like it was back, during the 80s.
Okay.
In the 90s, Texas built, I think we were at 28 prison units or something like that. I could be wrong. But now we're up to 108.
Wow.
So, in the mid-90s, there was a really big prison building boom. So, and then, of course, there were prison reforms from the New Mexico prison riot and stuff like that. They took a good look at that, and that was a major issue, was overcrowding.
Right.
So, and then also oversight, the federal oversight, make sure, overcrowding doesn't get out of hand like it was back then. So, it's...
They need to start
you
executing
can
more
do
people.
2 things. No. In my mind, we need to look at our laws and not put as many people in prison.
Right.
So some of these non-violent crimes.
Right.
100%.
We need to,
Like, me, and not just because I smoke weed, but marijuana should not be illegal anywhere. It should be federally legal, just like alcohol is.
Yeah, it's absurd. It honestly is. There's
Federal.
no difference. Yeah, it's absurd.
Agreed.
I mean, here in Illinois, of course, it's legal, but like you said, Chris, federally, it's not. You know. And I don't know, Tex, what is the laws in Texas with that? Is there any like medical or any of that available or no?
There's medical, but you have to. You got to go jump through a whole lot of hoops to do it. But recreational is a big no-no.
Right.
Now there are like little safe havens, like Austin. I love Austin. The cops there, if you get caught with, I can't remember how much it is, but if you get caught with
under certain grams or whatever.
They'll let you go and keep your weed and everything. So that's
only because they're going to take it home and smoke it.
Yeah, man.
Free weed.
It's like certain cities like decriminalizing their shit on their own accord. And shit.
Yeah, here you could get a medical card for it if you're going to the VA. If you've been to the VA within the past year, they give you a medical card here.
I could just go to the store and buy it myself, but I don't. I still go to my guy because it's cheaper.
Yeah, but here the vets don't pay the tax.
See, I'm not a vet. I did not go to the military, sir.
So that's the way to do it, is become a veteran and then get your medical card.
Well, you got that camo on then, motherfucker.
Oh, go fuck you. God damn it, Joey.
Poser. Goddamn poser.
Goddamn poser.
Now, Chris, the prison became well known also. You had Johnny Cash and Merle Haggard doing that prison bit, 1969 and 1971.
I don't think they're going to allow anything like that in
Probably
San
not.
Quentin these days. You're going to get like fucking, I don't know, motherfucking
Tommy and his harmanometer.
I don't know. Who's the fucking goddamn rapper that would play the prison right now?
Yachty.
Yachty.
Would be on the
Fuck yeah, dude. But fucking Metallica did film their video for Saint Anger in fucking Quentin.
Oh, did they?
Yeah. Like that album sucks, but
yeah, it does.
But yeah, they fucking the video for that song they fucking filmed in Quentin.
Interesting.
But Johnny Cash and Merle back in the day, fucking everybody was in there like living it up. Like, holy shit, this is like more like the outside world right now.
Right.
We're at a show right now.
Yeah.
The only thing I need is some booze and some drugs, and this is great.
Yeah, they played both Folsom and San Quentin. I didn't realize they had played at San Quentin. And of course, it's been featured on lots of documentaries, as we've been saying. So it's gotten a lot of stuff in the media for sure. Now, I also saw there was an art group called Art Reach that's dedicated to bring the artwork from the death row inmates to the masses, which is kind of cool. A very interesting website that you could check out if you're interested in that. There's even some writing that some of them have done. I didn't read any of that, but I was looking at some of the artwork, which is pretty good.
Nice.
It does make sense. These guys are doing, what they can do to stay busy and kind of occupy their mind. Certainly don't see a thing wrong with it. It's certainly not hurting anybody. It's too bad they couldn't have done something like this in their fucking life and not ended up there.
Not just sitting
But,
there well, fuck.
That's a conversation for another day. We've been talking about that in all our episodes. These guys, the smarter ones, it's like, what the fuck were they thinking?
It's funny because initially, whenever I was writing Richard Ramirez, like I said, I found him basically on a site like you're just talking about, trying to promote the art.
Right.
So I originally started talking to him, and I wanted to help him out with his art because I was like, well, fuck yeah. And then that never happened. We just became pen pals. But I did get him to draw me one picture, which I brought to you guys, which is the shittiest.
It's fucking so bad.
Yeah, it is pretty bad.
It's a dinosaur. It's a dinosaur with the sun and shit. But at the same time, though, that thing, for murderabilia, I could probably sell that for fucking $5,000. I don't know how much I could sell it for.
Probably
Right.
get it a little bit.
Somebody
out of
would
it.
buy it because it's straight up from him and it's like signed and everything else in the letter, So.
Yeah, especially since he's dead too.
Exactly. So it's like the dumbest thing in the world, but at the same time, it's a pretty prized possession of mine.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
yeah,
could see
definitely.
why it would be.
Cool.
I could definitely see that. So I think that's cool. I mean, we know Manson did a lot of artwork that ended up on murderabilia
Gacy.
sites. Gacy, of course, the pogo shit. So, yeah. So
Look at me in my murder phase.
anything to add to this one, guys? I mean, San Quentin, definitely an iconic prison here in the United States for sure. I'm glad we got a chance to do it.
I'm fucking cool with this one, man. Like, prison.
Tex, anything from you that we missed or you wanted to talk about?
No, man, I'm good. We covered it all.
Very cool, very cool.
Covered it really good.
Well, I did my research from this one, watching several documentaries. Now, my wife works in the criminal justice department at a university, and she got a stack of DVDs that the professors were just giving out because they were done using them. They're mostly burnt
they're obsolete.
DVDs. But they were all about different prisons, and there was a whole fucking pile of them for San Quentin. Most of them were stuff you could find on YouTube, but it was still kind of cool to go through those. I watched a few of them. I mentioned going to the Department of Corrections website there in California. The Britannica website had a really good article about it, and Ranker, I used that for the past and present inmates. They had a whole list.
Right.
That was kind of cool with pictures and what they did. There were a bunch of them I didn't put on there. I just put the ones on that we were familiar with. But there's so much out there on this place. If you want to learn more, you definitely got plenty out there to dig into if you're into that sort of thing. So,
And watch Blood In, Blood Out.
Danny Trejo and Machete too.
Yeah.
Always
Have you ever
Machete.
watched-
Yeah,
Can't go
You
wrong
ever
with
seen
fucking
Blood
Machete.
In, Blood Out?
I think I've seen it.
Okay.
Yeah.
That movie's so fucking good.
Now, next week, guys, we are doing one of the strangest cases ever. Donna Perry is one that I saw this documentary. I was like, what the fuck? But, today we talk about in a lot of news with people identifying as a different sex that they were born with, and, people actually going through the reassignment surgery and all that.
I'm a taco.
She was she murdered when she was Doug Perry in Oregon in 1990, but then later had surgery and became Donna. and her defense was that she was a different person when the murders happened.
Yeah.
So I thought this would be a good one for us to do because Doug Perry killed 3 prostitutes.
But I'm Donna.
Right.
Like,
I don't know anything about that.
Yeah.
I don't remember any of that. So that was her defense. So
you murdered chicks because you weren't a chick.
yeah, it's going to be a good one. It's definitely different, and I thought it would be a good one to kind of do that a lot of people don't know much about. So we're going to do that one next week. That'll be interesting. Joey, any good page of days for us?
I got just a couple quick ones, but before I do that, since we keep talking about fucking Danny Trejo and San Quentin and shit.
Fuck yeah, dude.
You guys are on Zoom, so people that are just listening to the podcast, they don't know, but I had to bust out fucking this motherfucker. I got this fucking machete right here.
Hell yeah, dude.
Oh yeah, the signed
sweet,
Danny
man.
Trejo machete.
Oh, yeah.
I forgot you.
Yeah.
Testy's
Oh,
got you
yeah.
that, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
signed by Danny Trejo, so pretty badass.
Fuck
man.
yeah,
Fucking-
dude. That's awesome, man.
I forgot you had that.
We kept bringing him up, and Pete kept saying machete. And I was like, "Fuck yeah!" I fucking had to go grab it.
That's
All right,
awesome.
So page a day. I just got 2 of them, fucking. But anyway, so this first one is talking about Paul Martin Andrews. Now, Paul Martin Andrews is the boy in the deer box.
Sounds familiar.
So he was on his way to a convenience store to pick up some milk, and when it was snowing out, it's January 11th, 1973, in Portsmouth, Virginia, when a man stops him. The man introduces himself as Pee-wee, and he offers 13-year-old Andrews $3 if he would help him and his brother move some furniture. So Andrews hops into Pee-wee's car, and obviously, you know, it wasn't what he was
Right.
thinking. They drove out into the woods. He told him he needed help lifting supplies out of his brother's deer box, which is an underground box where a hunter hides while hunting deer. And when they got to the deer box, Pee-wee pulled out a knife and pushed Andrews inside the box. The deer box was 4 feet wide and 8 feet deep. Pee-wee beat and raped Andrews 3 times a day for the next 7 days. On the 8th day, he shackled Andrews' ankle to the box and he left him for dead. On January 19th, 1973, Andrews heard a truck drive by the deer box, so he starts screaming as loudly as he can. The hunter comes over the box, points his rifle at the door, and demands that Andrews comes out. Andrews explains that he was chained inside the box, and the hunter opened it, found him bloodied and bruised. Andrews identified Pee-wee, whose real name was Richard Ausley, from police photos. Ausley had served 10 years in prison for kidnapping, imprisoning, and abusing another child, and he was due in court on another child molestation charge the same day he abducted Andrews. He was sentenced to 48 years for the kidnapping and rape of Andrews, and in 2002, Andrews told his story for the first time at Ausley's parole hearing. His parole was denied, and he was killed by his cellmate in prison 2 years later. Andrews continues to tell the story in hopes of protecting other children from what happened to him.
That's some fucking violent, fucked up
That
shit,
is.
man.
Wow.
Wow.
Yep. Yeah, that one was pretty brutal. So, on a lighter note, the second one I got from Page a Day, this is talking about February 1st, 2021. So, not that long ago. There were 6 people that were arrested after altering the famous Hollywood sign in Los Angeles to read Holly Boob.
Wait, what? Hold on. Start over. Start over. Start over.
So the Hollywood sign in L.A.,
Yeah.
these 6 people were arrested because they altered it and made it say Holly Boob.
What year?
Now, that 2021.
Okay, all right.
So,
nice.
so they said the whole idea was they were trying to raise awareness for breast cancer. So they hiked up to the iconic spot and they covered the W with the tarp reading B, and they fashioned the D to read the same way. So the group was caught on their way back down the hill and was cited for trespassing on land that was held by the Hollywood Sign Trust. There was no damage to the sign, so no vandalism charges were brought. But the sign itself actually has a long history of alterations by pranksters, including 2 times that they made it say Holly Weed in 1976 and in 2017.
I was going to say, there was one not that long ago.
Nice.
Yeah. So that was Page a Day for today. Quick ones, but pretty
Yeah,
good.
definitely
I love
good. Fuck yeah.
First
All
one
right.
was very, very violent.
very much
The
so.
second one, thanks for giving us a fucking light note at the end there, Joey.
Yeah,
Love it.
right.
whenever I was reading the first one and shit, I was like, as soon as it said Pee-wee, I was like, oh, Pee-wee Gaskin's story.
Oh,
you know
there
what
you
I'm
go.
saying? But no, it wasn't, though.
A different one.
Hell yeah.
Well, Tex, thanks as always for coming on to talk with us and sharing your,
Hell yeah.
your insight.
Thanks for
Hell
having me.
yeah,
appreciate
dude.
you.
Always a pleasure. And so you're going to tell us what the fuck we need to do.
Well, boys, let's get our metal on.
Fuck yeah. Just because CK has passed on, he's not done educating the masses. CK will forever be the great metal motherfucker. We're here to stomp poser ass and eradicate the planet of their kind. CK has passed the torch to us, and we will forge the fuck on. In CK's name, we will bestow metal knowledge upon all of you. All right, forever dedicated to the great CK.
Metal motherfucker.
That's right. All right, well, we are in metal now, guys. We know what that means. Since CK's been gone, we pass the horns every week. And who had the horns last week? Chris, you
did.
had the horns. So
Cock
you're
and ball
passing
torture,
them.
baby.
That's right. So you're passing them to Joey. Joey's
the
got his
horns.
own fucking horns over there.
Fuck yeah, he does.
And when you got the horns, that means you get to pick. There he is. Joey's got those brutal fucking goat horns.
Hell yeah, he does.
And you get to pick the segment. And Joey, you've got it this week. So why don't you shed some light on who you picked? Or what you picked?
First off,
We're eating
I'm
Pop
finishing up.
Tarts.
I am, yeah. I'm finishing up my Pop-Tart that I'm eating.
You toasted them this week, which is all classy.
I
and
did.
everything.
Yeah, now most people know that we fucking eat the Pop-Tarts. If you listen to our segment, we're usually fucking being hot, fat slobs coming into the segment. But I got these Eggo ones, and fucking, this is the first time, usually I'll just eat them fucking Renegade style, just fucking,
Right.
room temp. But
No, that's
This
prison.
time
That's
was-
prison style, bro. Because you don't got a toaster
Yeah.
in prison.
But this time I toasted them up, and they're pretty fucking good. So
Awesome. And I got an apple fritter. And Chris, you got what?
I got the s'mores.
S'mores. So, all right. So what'd you decide on this week, Joey?
I'm gonna finish my last couple bites before.
Oh, okay. All right.
All right. Well,
So, listeners, if you want to keep us in Pop-Tarts,
if you want to have us figure out how to make Dead Space not dead and talk
Right.
about Pop Tarts,
Send us some
Send us some
Pop-Tarts.
Pop-Tarts.
P.O. Box 554, Hayworth, Illinois, 61745. Murder Metal Mayhem. We'll get them.
Fuck yeah, we will.
And, yeah, we've got quite a few still from that awesome listener that's brought 3 or 4 fucking huge boxes
Jesus
of them
Christ, man.
to us at the Dark History and Horror Convention. That was fucking amazing. And we've had other listeners sending them in too. So thank you, everybody that's already done that.
Yeah, so when the apocalypse happens and you need Pop Tarts, don't come to us because
That's
these
right.
are ours.
These are ours, exactly. So Joey, it's all on you, buddy.
Yeah, it's metal time now. Okay, so for my segment this week, as I got my horn sitting in front of me, oh yeah, something else I forgot too. Whenever I was on my way back home from work today, I got behind this van whenever I was fucking about to get to my house, and they have like fucking, whatever, their family with all the stick figures and shit on the back window and
Right.
shit like people do.
Right.
But the last name that was under it was Kovacs. And I was like, oh, okay.
shit.
I was like,
Nice.
like a sign from CK for the metal segment tonight.
Awesome.
So,
Definitely, that's awesome.
Giving you a thumbs up.
yeah, I got his blessing to do this.
We would have loved this.
Yeah, he would have dug this one. So tonight, I am doing a recording studio. And the reason I'm doing this studio is because it became so iconic in the genre that we all enjoy, heavy metal and death metal and whatnot. So what I'm talking about is Morrisound Studios.
Fuck yeah.
And this is from down in Tampa, Florida. Now, Morrisound Studios was opened back in 1981 by the brothers Jim and Tom Morris. these guys, like, they grew up together. They ended up having a band in college, and they said whenever they were on campus, they were able to go into the college's recording studio or whatnot, and they were able to record their stuff. And they said just the act of going in and creating something that you know, like, basically fucking creating a work of art and having something to show for it afterwards, that was like a driving force for them. So that stuck with them from that point on. And Tom ended up, he moved to Mississippi, and he did work in a recording studio that he had there. And then Jim, he was still a musician working in Tampa at a music store. So they were talking to each other, and they decided that they wanted to pool their money together, which they didn't have a lot, but they wanted to open up their own recording studio. And they said that they did, you know, some
What better
research.
place than Tampa?
They did some research and decided that Tampa would be the spot for it. At the time, it would be ideal, and there was a lot of music going on around that area and stuff. So that's how Morrisound Studios came to be found in Tampa, Florida. So 1981.
Very cool.
Yeah. Now, these guys, they also always hung out with the thriving heavy metal scene that was going on down there in Tampa. And in the 80s, there was a band called Avatar, which later ended up becoming Savatage. And Savatage is a huge fucking thrash band.
Yeah.
You also had Executioner that came out in 1985 down there, which later on became Obituary. And another big band, Nasty Savage. Nasty Savage was a huge band out of Tampa back then.
Nasty Ronnie.
So, yep, and these guys worked with all these guys. They did the first Savatage album, Sirens, back in 1983.
Classic.
But of course, you know, us here in the metal world, we like to talk about how they fucking brought in a more extreme fucking level of music. So we're gonna fast forward a little bit, you know, not saying that they didn't do a lot of badass shit in between, because they did. Their fucking path was awesome. But 1988 brought a little bit different fucking you know, style, I guess, and that was with Death.
A little bit different.
Recording the album Leprosy.
Fuck
and
yeah, dude.
This was as iconic as you can get. Like,
Definitely.
This band is, you know, they're coined that they created the genre death metal. I mean, obviously it's an argumentative fucking fact.
Right.
But whatever, regardless of what you think, Death was at the forefront of any kind of extreme metal like that. And fucking
agreed.
That shit was just huge. So Morrisound Studios, now this becomes a thing. Like, they're recording with Chuck Schuldiner and you know, the Nasty Savage guys and all these guys. 1989 comes around. All of a sudden, they're recording fucking Morbid Angel, Altars of Madness,
Oh my God.
Obituary, Slowly We Ride. I mean, these are fucking huge
Iconic,
albums.
massive albums, dude.
And these guys said that the biggest difference that they had than the other studios that these guys could have went to is that back then, had these bands gone to any other studio, nobody would have fucking cared enough to put in the effort to make it sound as good as what they were able to make it sound.
Right. Most studios, especially in the 80s, because I experienced this, they didn't understand metal. So they're not gonna be able to capture that crunch guitar like you know you want to hear it, because they're thinking it's too loud or it's too aggressive. So they were constantly trying to rein the bands back in, whereas these dudes were embracing it and actually taking it seriously and wanting to make it sound as good as they possibly could.
Exactly, which they did, and fucking did a huge job of it. Around 1990 is whenever they started messing around with another guy a little bit more, and this was a producer by the name of Scott Burns. Scott Burns is fucking huge.
Yes.
He had his hand in a lot of the albums that I'm going to end up talking about, as well as a bunch of other things that he did outside of Morrisound Studios too. But I mean, I just remember as a kid, like, growing up, and if I had a tape and I'd look on that motherfucker and it said recorded at Morrisound Studios, produced by Scott Burns, 9 times out of 10, that's going to be a fucking badass album,
right?
You know, classic. So it's just crazy how that is, you know. Now, Scott Burns, he comes out. Now, whenever he started, he was basically a $5 an hour producer.
Wow.
And
God
then,
damn.
like, at the end of this, of course, he became fucking big shit. But, you know, at first he was just a dude that was doing shit for fucking...
Helping
some shit
homies
that he
out,
likes.
basically.
Yeah. But he worked on some iconic, you know, I'm going to talk about some of the bigger albums, but some of the other ones that he worked on was the band Assuck, which that's fucking huge, fucking iconic fucking work with that band. He worked with Gorguts out of fucking Canada, with Luke LeMay and them. He mixed down Internal Bleeding's Voracious Contempt demo or album. You know, it was basically their first album.
Yeah, yeah.
So he had his hand in that. He worked with KMFDM and Pestilence. He worked with the band Solstice out of Florida, Skeletal Earth. He worked with Suffocation, Terrorizer, fucking Morgoth. You know, just Monstrosity.
Old, dude, that's like some old school badass shit. Like,
yeah.
holy fuck, man.
So anyway, so that was, I mean, they brought on Scott Burns. So now you got Morrisound Studios, the dopest recording studio in America at the time for extreme metal, probably in the world, because they started having bands come in, Napalm Death from England, and, you know, like I said, Gorguts. I mean, there's bands, Sepultura from fucking Sao Paulo. And, I mean, these are
Coming
fucking
to
huge
them,
fucking
yeah.
bands. Coming to them.
Yeah,
and
that's
you got
awesome.
Scott Burns as a producer fucking just laying shit out. So they put out a lot of albums, but right now I'm going to go through a timeline with some of their biggest albums. And this is just like mind-boggling when you fucking just hear these albums. So we're going to go into 1990. Obituary, Cause of Death, Nocturnus the Key, Napalm Death, Harmony Corruption, Master, Atheist, Piece of Time, Cannibal Corpse, Eaten Back to Life, Death, Spiritual Healing, Deicide, Exhorder, Slaughter at the Vatican, and Ice Earth, self-titled.
And that's
which,
just
of course,
1990?
That's just 1990.
God damn, dude.
That's
Jesus.
fucking crazy.
That is.
Those are some-
1991. Yeah, this is a year later. They do Cancer, Death Shall Rise. Cannibal Corpse drops their second album, Butcher to Birth. Death comes back with Human. Demolition Hammer, Tortured Existence. Morbid Angel, Blessed are the Sick. And Sepultura Arise.
God.
This is like the fucking
These
meat
are
and potatoes
huge.
of
This is the
death
era.
metal.
Yeah.
Yeah. 1992, Cannibal Corpse, Tomb of the Mutilated, Deicide Legion, Creator Renewal, Obituary the Incomplete, and not so much an extreme band, but Morrisound Studios did put this album out, Warrant, Dog Eat Dog.
Get the fuck
So
out of
this-
here.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool. Creator was there from Germany. That's interesting.
And that's you're gonna come all the way over from overseas,
Right.
and
To Florida.
there's a reason for that, yeah.
Right.
1993, Death, Individual Thought Patterns, and Morbid Angel Covenant were the two big ones.
Oh,
94,
God.
Cannibal Corpse, The Bleeding, and Obituary, World Demise. I'll tell you what else Morrisound Studios did too, and it's big in their repertoire. They did the band Seven Mary 3. They recorded 3 of their albums there. So that was
Really?
pretty big for them. This is as the studio's now branching out into larger
Right, trying-
areas.
now we wanna make
other
money.
kinds of music.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Now we're going to make some money. But still, 1995, Death Symbolic, Deicide, Once Upon the Cross, 6 Feet Under Haunted, all recorded in Morrisound. 96, Cannibal Corpse, Vile. Now, in 96, this is when Scott Burns, he retired from producing. And he's been a computer programmer ever since. He cited lack of interest and poor pay as his reasons for getting out of that, of the music industry.
Okay.
But I mean, regardless, the guy's name is fucking synonymous with the huge shit. But Morrisound Studios continued on. 97, they put out Deicide, Serpents of the Light. 1998, Cannibal Corpse, Gallery of Suicide, and Death, The Sound of Perseverance.
Jesus.
Morbid Angel, Formulas Fatal to the Flesh. 2001, Deicide, and Torment in Hell. Now,
Yeah, that was
They
the Lost
also-
Classic once.
right. And now these guys have also had some shit come out that has won Grammys and shit out of Morrisound. So not on the metal front, but they put out the Destiny's Child 8 Days of Christmas
Really?
album. They mixed that, which won a Grammy, so that's huge. They also did all the Trans-Siberian Orchestra stuff there.
Oh, wow.
Which is fucking
Yeah, that's
cool.
massive.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
in 2006, they put out, this won a Grammy too, but it's just funny. Brooke Hogan featuring Paul Wall, About Us song. They did that there.
I think G Money recorded there too.
Right. The last thing I remember of Morrisound personally is the last Milwaukee Metal Fest, I think 2004. I went up there and I saw a band called Beyond the Flesh, and this band was fucking just like phenomenal. They were really good band.
You showed them to me, and
I played them for you.
Oh yeah.
But I'm like watching like everything, all their equipment, everything's just fucking baller shit. And I'm looking at their album, and it's fucking like recorded at Morrisound Studios. And Chuck from Death had his hand in producing that. But
wow.
So that made a lot of sense why it was so badass. But that's the last thing I ever heard. And then Morrisound Studios, like, they're still open, but they ended up changing locations and not so much for the metal stuff anymore.
Yeah, different dynamic on what they're doing with music and shit.
Yeah. But I mean, there's no denying that through the 90s and the 2000s, that place was fucking huge.
That's ridiculous,
and they fucking
man.
created something that you know you can never fucking forget whenever it comes to fucking music. So
no, that's cool, man.
Real.
Fuck yeah, dude. That was good, Joey.
Damn,
yeah, definitely like that.
I didn't realize all them fucking albums came from.
Yeah.
Holy shit!
I knew there was
man.
a bunch. I just, it was cool to hear him running down the list.
And there was way more. Those were just like
the
big dogs.
high points.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, Chris, what do you got for a Lost Classic for us?
For the Lost Classic, I got fucking goddamn Faith No More's fucking We Care a Lot. Because when most people think of fucking Faith No More, they think fucking Mike Patton.
Right.
But Chuck Mosley, the original vocalist, fucking that album, if you haven't heard We Care a Lot, go check it out. It's Faith No More, so it's not like fucking like
right.
Well, although fucking Mike Patton's a little weird sometimes, but no, go check out the original fucking vocalist Chuck Mosley with Faith No More on We Care a Lot.
Okay, very cool, very cool. All right, what we've been listening to lately, Joey? I'm going to start with you tonight. What you been jamming over there in the 419?
I've been listening to some older stuff. I've been fucking pulling out my CD book while I'm in the truck and just reaching over and grabbing randomly out of it and seeing what I get. So
that's cool.
Pulling up some stuff I ain't listened to in a while, and I've been listening to some Penile Suffocation.
Nice.
They're fucking badass. Organ Harvest. I've been listening to a band that if I could put out a split with any band, they would be in my top, and it's a band called Corpse Carving, and they're from Australia, but just fucking so goddamn brutal. And like, I don't listen to some shit for a while, then all of a sudden it comes on, you're like, holy fuck, that's good. Like, oh yeah, I remember now.
Corpse
Carving,
no,
just jamming that shit. And then whenever I was doing the Morrisound fucking thing, I ended up watching a whole bunch of documentaries and all kinds of shit about like Sepultura recording there and Cannibal Corpse during the bleeding sessions and all this shit. Definitely checking out a lot of fucking Morrisound fucking albums.
That's very cool. Chris, what about you, man? Anything jumping out at you?
Soulfly, Jump the Fuck Up. I listen to that song at least once a day.
Okay, get your cardio in there.
Fuck yeah.
My buddy Mike from Phil Anselmo and the Illegals.
Yeah.
Chris, you met him.
Yeah.
He's playing guitar for Soulfly right now for their new tour.
Is he for real? Fuck yeah.
Yeah, it's fucking pretty badass.
That is pretty cool. I'll tell you what, I've been just on a rip here lately with all these good albums coming out. I mentioned earlier, Skeletal Remains. I've been jamming the shit out of, not the newest one, the one before that, Devouring Mortality. I fucking just killing it. Also, that Mexican band Horrid Sight. I really dig those guys. A new album, Evil Made Flesh. Another new one I just stumbled upon from Brisbane in Australia and Queensland. Idle Ruin, and an album called The Fell Tyrant. Very fucking good shit. And also was listening to the audiobook A Billion Years by Mike Rinder. That's the dude that left Scientology, and he was a higher up there and wrote a book about it. But the audiobook, we started listening to it, and we're about 3/4 of the way through it. But my wife and I both digging on some of that crazy ass Scientology shit, and just how fucked up it is.
Because it's not right.
It's crazy. All right, well, I'll tell you what, I've been inspired by, just mixing up the metal segment, and so I've decided I got the horns next, and I have decided I'm going to do my feature on Alex Webster, the amazing bassist of Cannibal Corpse. His bass playing has been incredibly influential on a lot of metal bass players, especially those that dig the heavy stuff, the death metal. I've got an Alex Webster model Spectre. Maybe I'll bring it out here in the studio. That would be kind of cool.
I got here and record some fucking shit real quick.
Well, I've got when I ordered it, I could have got it with or without the blood drip on it, and I got it without.
Right.
Because I thought if I had to sell it or something, it'd be easier to sell without blood dripping on it. Not
I don't
everybody.
know, death metal motherfuckers be like, where's the blood, motherfucker?
A death metal guy for sure, But they also had it in Zombie, which was red with black, like bleeding, which looked pretty cool too.
Sick.
But I went with the plain black. But anyway, I've got that. I got to meet him briefly when we played with them when I was in Low 12 on, I think it was the Kill tour. That was the one with Misery Index opened. Us, Misery Index, and Cannibal Corpse. That was fucking badass. But anyway, nice guy. He's an incredible bass player. So I thought that'd be cool, me being a bassist myself, to do Alex Webster. So I did Geezer Butler, and Alex Webster and Bob Daisley would be my next, if I had to pick another bass player that was extremely influential on me, would be the Ozzy bassist. He played in lots of bands, Rainbow.
Ozzy as in Osbourne or Ozzy as in Australia?
Ozzy as in Osbourne.
I know.
But yeah, I mean, he was in freaking Uriah Heep. He's been in Rainbow. Of course, played all those, Diary of a Madman. I mean, like the classic Ozzy stuff. He wrote it. Anyway, so there's other bassists I'd like to do, but this next time it's going to be Alex Webster. So. All right, bands, if you're in a band and you want us to check you out, I got another band sent us something. I've been so behind with that stuff. I'm trying to get caught up, but I will listen to it. And if it's something more Joey style, I usually send it Joey's way, and we kind of share.
Sorry, guys, I'm not good at doing reviews.
That's all right. Well, eventually, if you want to do them, you could share in the love, but... right now, Joey and I have been kind of handling them, and
the fact I've been fucking talking on a microphone on a podcast for 5 years amazes me, honest.
So Pete at murdermetalmayhem.com is how you can get it to us, or old school Murder Metal Mayhem, P.O. Box 554, Hayworth, Illinois 61745. Throw in some stickers if you got them. We might throw it on the door. And if you want to throw in a Pop-Tart or two, hey, we'll eat them.
We like Pop-Tarts.
Not required, just a suggestion.
Yeah.
And our 666 Club, that's our Patreon. If you want to get in on that.
Give us money.
To become part of the show and help us out, pay the bills. So if you're into that, you can go to patreon.com/murdermetalmayhem and join up with that. And it's only $3 a month. And you can, help us out, and you get the shows a day early. You get discounts on merch and all that stuff. So it's a cool thing. All right. Well, I think we have done plenty of metal tonight. So, Chris, what the fuck do we need to do?
I don't know. I think it's time to get our fucking mayhem
Hey friends, come see the beautiful Canadian countryside with Leger Canadian Tours. Inspired by our founder, Alan Leger, the monster of the Miramichi, you can experience Canada like few others can honestly say.
I love the Leger tour. My bachelor party had one hell of a time raping this old bitch before we set fire to her fucking home. The stab even took our subway next to her burning corpse and let me take her Depends home for a souvenir.
With Leger Canadian Tours, you get to see the real Canada. Not just maple syrup and poutine. You'll get plenty of old lady poontang instead. Alan Leger style.
I got to wash my junk off in the icy waters of the Miramichi River after I raped two 80-year-olds. Nothing says wake up testicles quite like that.
So call us at 888-RIP for fun and book a tour with Leger Canadian Tours today. Bring your grandma for the time of her life. Ho, ho, ho.
Jesus Christ.
What the fuck?
Fucking Shane, dude.
Oh,
I love
God.
Shane.
Shane from fucking Winnipeg killing it with that Leger shit. Oh,
You
my
and Michael
God.
getting there, fucking doing your shit thing.
Oh, yeah,
bro.
good stuff. Oh, yeah. So that was a good one. And before that, some obituary off the new album, Dying of Everything. Killer album from those guys, but I don't believe that was done at Morrisound that I'm aware of, but I don't know if you know that, Joey, or not.
No, not that one, but still decent. Though.
Yeah, for sure. So good segment though, Joey, on Morrisound. That was really cool.
I like the way you broke that
was
shit
great.
down like metal style. I like the way you added in the other shit they did, not just metal. Like, no, they were actually out there doing shit, dude.
Yeah,
like,
Grammys and all that
Love
good
that.
stuff. Very cool. All right, well, we're in Mayhem, and that's where we tell some funny Mayhem stories. And this isn't that great of a story, but it is kind of funny. It happened to me today. I wasn't thinking about this like I probably should have been, but anyway, I've been going to the VA for 29 years, and the VA is definitely been like like watching a fucking glacier fucking move. You know, they don't move very quickly for anything, and it takes fucking forever.
Right.
Well, the last few years, the shit has been like blowing the fuck. I mean, it's blowing my mind at how good it's been.
It's like, oh shit, this is way better.
And they're offering things outside the VA, like on the civilian side, they'll pay for it if they don't offer it at the local clinic. And so anyway, I've been going to the VA now for a long time, and they've been just great these last few years. And now they just started doing eye exams where I go. So I thought, I'll might as well. I mean, fuck, it doesn't cost me anything, get new glasses and so on. So I went there today, and they always do with, me being diabetic, they want to check behind the eyes and make sure there's no bleeding and shit back there. So it's important to make sure, you fucking don't go blind. So it's an important thing to do. So I did it, but then I didn't think about the fact they were going to dilate my eyes. Now, I've had this done before, and it's not the most fun thing, but, they tell you, your vision's going to be pretty fucked up for a couple hours, or a few hours is what they said. So, I get out of there, and I'm like, it was not that sunny out today, and it felt like I was in under a fucking, grow light, it was fucking insane. And so I had to put sunglasses on, and I'm driving home, and I'm like, man, this is fucked up. Like, I got to look at a computer screen for like 3 hours tonight. And I don't think I could fucking do it. I couldn't do it then, but I knew it was a few hours away. And thankfully, my vision restored, and I'm okay, and I'm able to read off the computer screen. But I was driving home thinking, maybe I shouldn't have planned this on a day that we're doing the podcast.
Right, like, holy fuck.
Probably not the best thing.
I'm going to have to turn the brightness down on my laptop screen, fucking all that shit.
And I remember I had some dental work done on a day we did the podcast, and it was
I did last week. That's why I stayed home.
My mouth was fucking, all numb and shit.
Yeah.
And how did you yank it out, or what'd you do?
Oh, no, I went to the dentist. No, I didn't do it on my own, dude.
Well, that's good. That's good.
I went to the
Not that time?
Yeah,
You
I went to the
dentist?
dentist, man. But my whole side of my face is all fucking still, like, numb as shit. Because, look, anybody who listens knows, my whole top rack is fake as fuck. My bottom one, I don't have very many left. I had to get one of them very few pulled out. But yeah, when we were recording that, my whole left side of my face was still numb. Dude.
Oh, God.
Like, I'm trying to take a drink, and, like, I can only feel half of it. Like, am I drooling? Am I not drooling? Like, what the fuck's going on, man? Yeah,
So,
dental work sucks.
It does. All right. Well, we're getting ready to hit the Killer Cage match. We love doing this, a fun part of the show. And this is where we take a list of 75 killers, 75 objects for them to fight with, some variables in the cage, and now we've even added music to this fucking craziness.
Gotta have a theme song.
That's right. So we got some listeners that help us out picking random numbers to decide what happens.
Once again, tonight we have, hold on, let me do this right. Peggy 419 Sue, not studios.
Right.
Peggy 419 Sue, what up in the studio? We got Jeff Ignatowski, thanks for the killer card game.
Hell yeah.
And we got Ray Big Dog McFalls.
Oh yeah,
the
man of 1,000 fucking nicknames, Ray McFalls. All right, well we got.
I bet it was supposed to be Big Dong.
I bet it was
typo. We got a good matchup tonight in the steel cage, fighting to the death. Joey, who is going at it tonight?
Well, tonight we got Richard Ramirez, who we've talked about a little bit tonight.
Yeah.
So he's our San Quentin boy, and he's going to go up against fucking Dean Coral, the Candyman, Tejas, who we had our boy Tex on. So
That's right. From Houston, Texas, nailing dicks to fucking plywood. That is the most fucking vile shit that sick bastard was doing down there. Amazing that more people don't know about old Dean Coral. Killed almost as many as Gacy. So, and burying him.
Shot in the dick.
Worked with Gacy.
Yeah.
Worked with Gacy.
No, that was the Chicago Ripper crew.
That was Chicago Ripper. My bad.
Yeah. So
pulling off them titties.
Couple of sick bastards fighting. That's for sure. And Chris, what about the fucking objects? If this wasn't a more perfect fucking one of them, at least.
It is so kind of fucked. So they got a pot of boiling water, endless pot of boiling water. They basically just got a fucking fire hydrant of boiling water that they're just spraying at people, basically.
Yeah, not going to be good.
Yeah, and then they got a, I don't know how big it is, but they got a double-ended dildo.
Okay.
So who knows what's going to happen with that? I don't know how big it is. I don't know what's happening with the size.
I don't know either, but we'll say it's a large one. We'll just go with the
Jeff's
large.
over there with his arms at shoulder length.
And the variable, Joey, is your boy. I thought this was good.
Fred Durst with his eyes sewn shut.
Oh, man. Fred Durst with his eyes sewn shut. And the song playing, and this is kind of a local thing here. So I'll explain.
I'm local. I don't even know this.
But the band that I like to make fun of from back in the day, Max Lighter, their song Enemy is playing. And these guys were a total poser band who thought they were fucking Limp Bizkit. And I always thought it was fucking ridiculous and absurd. But they were a thing here for a while in central Illinois. That's all I'm going to say. Like early 2000s, I'm guessing. I don't even know. I was in low 12 at the time, and they never played with us, but it was just kind of a funny thing. So we got Richard Ramirez, Dean Coral going at it in a steel cage to the death with an endless pot of boiling water, a double-headed dildo, Fred Durst with his eyes sewn shut, and this lame-ass fucking poser metal playing in the background. So, Chris, what the fuck do you make of this?
Jesus fucking Christ. So to begin, I'm going to go ding ding. Ramirez, his fucking teeth are fucking rotted out anyway because he likes candy. So Coral's just like, hey, yo, Ricky, come here. Ramirez is like, fuck yeah, I like candy. I like candy. Yeah, he's stinging him with the candy, dude. Isn't that what fucking pedophiles and predators do?
Yeah, I guess.
Because that's Dean Coral. He fucking sneaks him in with the candy. So he sneaks Ramirez in because he's already got rotten ass teeth. But you got fucking, I don't know this song, I don't know this band, but you said they're wannabe Limp Bizkit. So
right.
Durst is over here with his eyes fucking sewn shut. He's pissed off like, well, why you ripping my style, homie? What the fuck? Fucking goddamn red baseball cap on and everything. He's like, fuck that. And he's like, now we gonna break stuff. And he fucking just pops his eyes open, rips his eyelids open, don't give a shit. He's going over there. He's fucking killing Max Lighter. Like, fuck you and my music. That's my music.
Wow.
So fucking, Meanwhile, Ramirez is over here fucking munching on some fucking candy. Coral's looking over at some little kid that just happened to be walking. Teenage boy, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Teenage boy, I'm sorry.
Get it right.
Got to get it right. Coral's over there, some teenage boys walking up, and fucking Fred Durst is like, nah, fuck that, dude. You fucking, Fred Durst fucking coming out like, no, I don't like fucking pedophiles. I talk about some dumbass shit in my fucking hip hop fucking metal music. Fuck you, though. So Fred Durst is like, Dean Coral, you're gonna die. So he fucking comes at Durst, and he fucking sees that double-headed dildo. He's like, oh, I'm gonna make them both die. So he takes that fucking double-headed dildo, he shoves it, rams it up Dean Coral's ass, but meanwhile, Dean Coral's like, I kind of like that, which is kind of fucked up because Dean Coral's fucked up. So he rams it up there further, but he gets it just enough to where fucking he fucking just grabs fucking Ramirez by his throat. He's like, fuck you and your teeth. Ramirez is like, I like this fucking candy. He's like, well, you're not going to like this candy. And just rams Ramirez on that fucking dildo. Fucking total fucking internal annihilation. I'm giving it to Fred Durst with his eyelids ripped open.
Wow. Okay. Wow. I don't even know what to say about that. That's pretty crazy. Joey, how do you expand upon that crazy shit?
So I take it that whenever they're now straight up, man to man in their prime, I'm going to give it to Richard Ramirez over Dean Coral. I agree. He would fuck him up and fucking brutalize him. But for the sake of the fucking cage match, I think whenever the bell rings, that fucking he's going to fucking see that double-headed dildo, and it's like the only thing that he could think to beat somebody with. So he wants to go after that, but at the same time, Dean Coral, he sees it, and he also wants to go for that because he wants to use it to sexually fucking assault Richard Ramirez with it.
Right.
So it's a sprint to that fucking double-headed dildo. Now, in a sprint, I'm going to give it up to Dean Coral because Richard Ramirez couldn't even get out of the East LA barrio wherever he was trying to make his escape. Yeah, he ended up getting fucked up by the townspeople, basically the neighborhood. They fucked him up.
Right.
So he doesn't get to the double-headed dildo fast enough. Dean Coral does. Dean Coral, he starts fucking pegging fucking Ramirez upside the head. The problem is he fucking smacks him in the mouth, but all his teeth are already rotted out anyway, so it doesn't fucking phase him. Ramirez just fucking smiles at him and holds up his palm with the pentagram in his hand and says, now you're fucking with Satan, motherfucker. And now I'm fucking pissed. He grabs fucking Dean Coral and he fucking throws him up under that boiling water so it's pouring right onto his dick, making his dick useless as shit. Now, the whole time there's this song Max Slider playing that fucking nobody has a clue what the hell it is.
Nope.
None of us here except Pete know what this is, so we can't really quote on it too much. The only thing I know is that the Toadies did a song called Max Slider, right? That's a thing on their yeah, I'm pretty sure on their Rubberneck album.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
That's all I think of when I hear it. So
that's
the
funny.
song, it's got the whole crowd. Everybody's confused. The only person that knows is Pete, and he's laughing in the corner. So now, Fred Durst, he's over there fucking, he's hearing this song. He doesn't know the goddamn thing either. And he's like, what the fuck is going on? I hear all this goddamn ruckus. I hear fucking a Night Stalker around me, the screen door intruder, if you will. I don't know what the fuck's going on. And he's like, man, give me something to break. Give me something to break.
Thank you for using this.
And he don't care that his eyes are sewn shut. And then he's like, man, you motherfuckers, you guys so stupid. Don't you know? I pack a chainsaw. What? I pack a chainsaw. And this motherfucker pulls out a chainsaw from under his red New York Yankees ball cap because he packs a chainsaw. You didn't know this? He takes the chainsaw, uses it to fucking cut his own eyelids open because he's that badass with the chainsaw. Then he's like, hey, he's like, hey, Ricky Ramirez, man, you ain't got no fucking skills with the hot water. Take this chainsaw, what? Take this chainsaw, what? And Richard Ramirez is like, oh, yeah, let me see that fucking chainsaw. Satan loves you. I'm doing this for Satan. I would rather hear AC/DC than whatever this song is that nobody knows. And Dean Coral's like, goddamn, y'all, my goddamn dick's been melted off my fucking body, and now you want to give this crazy motherfucker a chainsaw? I got some candy. Do you want some candy, Fred Durst? And he's like, hell no, I don't want no candy. I want to see him fuck you up with the chainsaw. And Ramirez fucks him up with the chainsaw, and he wins.
my
goddamn, I love it, Joey. Fuck yeah, dude.
Wow.
I love it.
Wow. Well, yeah, I'm gonna send you guys the
Oh
the
no!
slider. Yeah, I'm gonna send it to you. It's actually called Knuckle Sandwich. But,
I know what you're talking about.
Of course it is.
I'm gonna send it to
That
you.
video, they got the dirt bikes and shit.
Yeah, they got the dirt bikes going on. And shit, so yeah, it's pretty ridiculous. So, all right, yeah, I mean, Killer Cage match.
Dude, that was fucking fun, Joe. Thank you.
Yeah, it is a lot of fucking fun doing the Killer Cage match because it's just so ridiculous.
Dude, I really don't look at it until I fucking see them. Like, oh, damn, I gotta come up with something quick.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they would sound as good if I like tried to fucking put
have
them
it all
together
down.
and
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah,
I think,
it wouldn't come out.
I
right.
think they're funnier that way. So hell yeah, fucking listeners love that shit, and we do too. All right, very cool. A quick update on my writing. I didn't even realize I was this far into the next Creation of Chaos short story collection. It's crazy to think it's gonna be the fourth one, Creation of Chaos 4. I got 8 stories done. I got 2 or 3 more to do, and then it's complete. I'm not sure when I'm going to put it out. Probably at the beginning of the summer. I'm not 100% on that. I got to get Brian going on the cover and everything. It kind of came up suddenly because I didn't think I was that far into it. I'm getting ready to start a novel, so I'm going to go ahead and finish this out, and then I can put the attention on the novel. But we're also doing a new Murder Metal Mayhem activity book, so I'm going to be involved with that too. So a lot going on with all that stuff. You can check out my writing if that's something you're interested in, horror and that sort of thing. PeteAltieri.com, and I'll link to that in the episode description. I got free writing samples on there, a few short stories, things you can read for nothing to get an idea if you like it, and then if you do, you can buy one of the books. And I got a free or a secure web store on there. And our Murder Metal Mayhem site also has a secure web store. You can get t-shirts, you can get our activity book, you can get the stickers, and we got the new activity book will be coming out soon. And you can also join the 666 Club through there. 25% off if you do it that way. So a lot of good shit on there, murdermetalmayhem.com. And our YouTube channel.
Distracted.
What's that?
I'm distracted right now.
You're distracted.
Because Pete, speaking of YouTube, Pete sent us this link to this Max Slider video.
Yeah.
And Chris has already seen it because I heard you saying you saw it.
Yeah.
I'm not listening to it because, I'm trying to do the podcast.
Right.
But I'm watching the video.
Yeah.
And it's the fucking the funniest shit I've ever seen in my life.
Track pants.
I am losing my shit. There's 4-wheelers and fucking there's Mustangs doing donuts, and these dudes. I don't even need to hear the sounds to know what's going on.
With the Limp Bizkit kind of feel.
Oh my god! So anyway, if anybody's out there, maybe Pete can link this video to the Murder Metal Man page because it is too fucking hilarious.
Right?
Yeah,
it's fucking hilarious.
I used to have fun laughing about it. I still do, obviously. So, giving them free publicity, they ought to, be thankful of that. They're not doing the band anymore, but it's funny.
No, but they got a fucking pretty good company fucking doing custom trucks and shit.
Yeah, I'm not going to give them a free ad, but yeah, they do that kind of shit, which is cool. And Joey, just so you know, the McCormick's has just come out, but the outro's coming up, so I think we're okay. All right, I think we have done plenty of mayhem tonight, so I think it's about time to hit.
The video ends with the dude with his helmet that says Max Slider on the back, and it zooms in on it and then fades out, and that's the end of the Max Slider.
Oh, fuck yeah.
On his motorcycle helmet. Wow. That is fucking hilarious.
Hell yeah, dude. All right, well, let's do some outro. Hell yeah, that was that band I mentioned last week, Horrid Sight, Mexican band, fucking amazing. The track World of Slime, Those guys are really good. They're from Mexico
That
City.
was racist.
Definitely kill it. Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
All right, big thanks to Tex for coming on to talk some prison
Thank you,
shit.
Tex, man.
San Quentin was great talking with Tex, and always good to have him on, being
Every
a
time,
corrections
dude.
officer. Definitely like his opinion, and always great to have him. And the ladies love it when he's on, so that's a good thing.
The ladies love tea.
That's right. Now, Joey, what about our bumper music tonight?
Oh, fuck. Who all did we listen to tonight? Fucking... we listened to Obituary, Horrid Sight, and then Skeletal Remains was the first one.
Hell
Yeah,
yeah.
we did.
All death metal tonight, so fucking
Yep.
killer. Metal segment, Chris, intro.
Tonight is the same as every night, and we hope you guys love it because it will never stop. Motherfucking Chrysix.
Hell yeah.
Great metal motherfucker.
Yeah, great song. And the Murder Metal Mayhem intro music by Low 12. Thanks to all you guys out there listening. We keep seeing those numbers coming in, and we appreciate it very much. Keep
We
telling
love
your
all
friends
you guys
about it.
listening, man. You're the shit.
Hell yeah! And before Chris finishes this bottle of McCormick's, why don't we, Chris? Why don't you read that
Dude,
first one there?
Hold
dude?
on, let me finish this. No, I'm just kidding. So number one, we got right here. We got Gemma Jenkins says, "I loved your H.H. Holmes episode. I never knew all that murder castle stuff was hyped up, but you guys explained it really well. I'm a listener in Detroit, Motor City. Hell yeah!
Hell yeah!
Fuck
Very
yeah.
cool. Joey, what about that second one?
Second comment today comes from Adam Loves Eve 69 and says, "You guys crack me up every week. Love the metal you play. I never heard a heavy metal parking lot before. The shit was awesome. Definitely, you gotta know Heavy Metal Parking Lot. Check
No,
that
you
out.
got to know about heavy metal parking lot.
Definitely. I'm glad we turned some people onto that. Now, every woman 77 comments, I listen to you at work on third shift security in Miami. I have been a listener for a couple of years now, and I love what you all do. So thank you very much for that.
Hell yeah! Thank you,
And
much.
Chris, how about that last one?
Reardon. Reardon 6773 says, I'm from Shelton, Connecticut, and I love that Pete and Joe are from Connecticut.
Hell yeah.
That's awesome.
And CK.
Oh, and CK as well. And it
course.
sucks that's the only reason you can listen to our podcast is look at Connecticut.
Because me and Joey are from the Constitution State, right?
But no, thank you, Reardon.
Yeah, very cool. Thank you for that. All right, you can pick up a copy of my latest book, Slab of Sickness, Terror on the Tracks. You can check the episode description, a way to get that from my website, PeteAltieri.com. Also, check out our website, MurderMetalMayhem.com, for all sorts of cool stuff, the web store, all the things we've been talking about, a bio, contact us, listen to the show, all at MurderMetalMayhem.com. Joey, how about your intro? What's your distro? Your distro. What's the latest on that, dude?
FTA Records, fucking still putting out shit. Got that fucking machete dildo. Got the fucking Blondie Fester and Holy Cost split. That's
Yeah,
fucking
you got
new.
those physicals now, right?
Yeah, I got the
Goremonger wrapping up.
physicals.
Yes,
yeah,
that's what's
Goremonger
up.
wrapping up. I'm hoping this weekend fucking I could wrap up both fucking things I'm doing with that. I'm doing
Nice.
new horror flicks and I'm doing a split, but just fucking been a fucking nightmare trying to fucking close the deal, I guess, for some time.
Yeah. Well, that's good, though. I'm glad you're getting it done. And fuck
Hell
yeah,
yeah.
dude.
Looking
That's
forward
awesome.
to it, brother. Like, for real.
Yeah, we link to
yeah.
this in the episode description. So if you want to get some of Joey's stuff, the albums he's been talking about, then you can get a hold of him that way.
Listen to some more porno grind, guys. Cyber grind. Get it. Just expand your brain. Do some LSD.
You could like us on Facebook, at least our Facebook group, since they banned our ass. Follow us on Twitter. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. You could support the show by joining that 666 Club for $3 a month. That's patreon.com/murdermetalmayhem. And only $3, so that's
It's not
nothing.
much, man.
No. Now, we can't let him go without hearing a karaoke song. Here's a blast from the past, so crank this one up. And until next time, keep one foot in the gutter.
And do every goddamn thing you can to not throw fists in San Quentin Prison.
This one's for you, Michael, because I know how much you love this shit, brother.
Why the fuck is Disturbed such a pussy fucking band? I mean, they are the furthest fucking thing from metal. They are a bunch of fucking poser ass fucking bitches with this gay ass fucking music like this. I mean, seriously, I'm not down with the fucking sickness. I'm not down with shit that has anything to do with these fucking pussy ass fucking posers. David Draymond sucks! Big fucking god! Fuck you, poser! Get up, come on, get down with the sickness! Get up, come on, get down with the sickness! Get up, come on, get down with the sickness! Open up your eight and let them know what you mean! Get up, come on, get down with the strawberry! Your mother, get up, come on, get down with the strawberry! Your brother, get up, come on, get down with the strawberry! And this ass out, come on, baby!
Mother, man.